Hey, Carl, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good, good. How's the shoulder?
Doing better. Much better. Doesn't bother me as much anymore.
Yeah, that's good. Get any turning in this week?
Nah, I've been doing a lot of yard work.
Yeah, yeah. I just stopped cutting grass up here, so I'll do a span. So cut all that crap. About an 8 foot swath over there for the property line. Then probably got another quarter of an acre on the back side of the house here to do. So joy, joy.
Always.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I came up here. I didn't bring a jacket, so it gets cold at night, or at least it's cold for me. And rid of all my reminders. Let's see who just popped in.
Roger.
Oh, hey Roger, how you doing?
How's it going tonight, guys?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, buddy?
Oh, doing okay.
Yeah, good, good. Get some turning in.
I haven't. I'm thinking of doing an urn, actually
Oh,
make
okay.
two, one for me and one for my wife.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I enjoyed making those two urns for my wife and our daughter.
How accurate is the deal that's on the website showing that tells you how big to make the urn?
It's very accurate.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I ran all the numbers, and me and Dave worked closely on it to get it as close as possible. So
Okay.
it's using proper um, volume
Because I'll be doing it a
volume
segmented piece.
capacity.
It's
Yep,
easy to measure the inside. So,
right. Yep. Yeah, it's a very very good tool. Uh, especially being able to modify your shape and see where you need to be
yeah.
at for your internal dimensions. The big thing, people make urns, and I've talked to funeral directors in the past. In fact, I used to be in used to be the CFO of a M&A company that dealt with buying up and selling funeral homes and cemeteries, and they always struggled, whether we were buying pre-manufactured urns or getting them ad hoc, from wood turners. But you'd have this big 9 to 12 inch urn that's supposed to hold, 250, 270 pound capacity in there, and they can only get, a quarter or half of the ashes in because the walls were so thick, and then the overall depth, they essentially drilled down with a 3 inch Forstner
Yeah.
bit, and that was it.
Well, that make the urn real heavy to begin with.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you had an urn that weighed probably close to 2 pounds. It was ridiculous. You know, and the various manufacturers, their comments and response back to us was, well, you want to have, we make the urns, bottom heavy. That way, there's no worry of it falling off or being, it's going to be hard to knock it off of the mantle or a display shelf for the individual that's being honored. So yeah, it's a high demand, for properly made urns.
I'll probably make one out of cherry and one out of walnut.
Okay, yeah, they both turn excellent. You know, those two that I made, I used cherry. It was like, well, compared to, you know, the mesquite and eucalyptus and olive wood that I turned down there, you know, the cherries, you know, it's like slicing frozen chocolate. You know, it just peels right off.
Hey, Dane.
Hi, Brenda. How are you?
Hey. Oh, I'm all right. Hey, the elm that I showed you the other day, that's a softwood, isn't it? Well, that
Well, no, it's a hardwood. It's, you know, but it's not a real hardwood.
okay.
You know, it's,
I was
you
told
know, it's,
actually it was I sent a picture of it to my tree guy, and he said it was a Chinese elm, which is a soft,
okay.
he said.
Well, no, it's a hardwood. It's still a hardwood, but it's just soft on the Yonka scale.
Okay.
You know, so it's probably around box elder hardness, maybe a little
Okay.
harder. You know,
So it's still
600,
good
800.
for turning some bowls and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
think you know if it's Chinese now, if memory serves right, the it's not as porous as regular red elm.
Okay. Well, when I looked it up, I thought it looked like it was a red elm instead of the
Yeah,
Chinese.
that's what I thought it was red elm. You know,
Okay. That's what I'm thinking it
so,
is.
AKA piss elm. You'll know once you get into it if it, you know, smells like, you know, cow barn or pig farm or,
Oh.
you know,
Mhm.
a cat house. Yeah, it's got a very distinctive odor to it.
Oh.
Yep.
So maybe I shouldn't get a whole lot of it.
Oh no, red elm is, you know, it makes beautiful bowls or beautiful
Okay.
turnings, period. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
I mean, it's not that arniferous, you know, to the olfactors, you know, but you can smell it. You know, it's, you know, you know you're turning elm once you turn elm.
Okay.
Like turning walnut. You know, walnut's got a specific smell to it,
Okay. I didn't see
right?
that with the walnut either.
Yeah. Well, you know, you may not, you know. So
Huh.
I think walnut smells wonderful.
Yeah.
do what, Doug?
I love walnut. The smell of it smells great.
Yeah.
That and cherry.
Yeah. See, I don't get a scent from cherry, but I know others do. Hi,
If it's
Sue.
really dry, sometimes you don't.
So,
But if you run
Yeah,
into one of those pitch pockets, you'll smell it.
hmm.
Dane, you want to co-host me?
No.
Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. Makes it easier for me.
You ain't getting off that easy, buddy.
Okay. All right. And then as soon as I check it, there it is. There's somebody in.
Yeah. Just gotta give me time.
Yep.
I'm a
you got
little
time.
quicker. I'm a little quicker than, you know.
I didn't
It's all
even
right.
have
You're
to say hello and he already co-hosted me.
good.
Yeah.
Evening
Well, I
all.
didn't. Well, see, I didn't admit Doug, so that's the reason why I wasn't able to. Or that's the reason why I didn't get him on there as quick. You know, when I see the co-host pop in, as soon as I admit him, I'm making him a co-host. That way, you know, things ain't going. Make me a co-host because I want people to hit that admit button later on.
Yeah.
Let me report, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, hey, Dave. I didn't see you come in
Good
either.
afternoon, you look like you're comfortable today.
Yeah, I'm in mild weather Kentucky.
Oh, you're in Kentucky?
Yeah, got trees. Yeah, up for
Oh,
honey.
Tell you what, it's
Yeah,
warm here today.
they're
good.
doing.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
doing.
Mother's Day weekend.
Yep, doing the ash spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was burning today. I wasn't spreading any ashes, but I was burning.
What was you burning?
Yeah, stuff that's piled up over the last 10 years.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, that's
We
quite
had,
the smoldering pile.
yeah, we took a bunch out to the back end of our garden, and we've been kind of hesitant to burn it because it's pretty close to a tree line.
Yeah.
Well, today we spread it out a little bit and burned it. So
It wasn't too
naturally,
windy
there's
for
a lot
that?
of raking. I'm sorry?
It wasn't too windy for that?
No, it's not too bad here. Windy. It's
Hmm.
warm, but not windy.
Yeah, we got a little wind going on today.
There it is. Okay. We, as we got down to the bottom of the pile, the stuff was really, really wet. So it may smolder most of the night.
Yeah, yeah. It's, especially if there's a lot of dust. Yeah, it's gonna smolder. Bandsaw shavings, table saw shavings.
Now, this was stuff out of the trees. I've got a big poplar on the side of my house, and then I've got a really big maple and another poplar behind the house. And they just, particularly the poplars, they love to drop sticks all year. So
Yep.
we collect those up, and if they're of any size, I'll keep them for. Most of my Christmas trees are limbs I pick up out of the yard,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then the rest we piled up, and it just after a while it just gets to be so stinking much that you got to do something.
Yeah.
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 I need to
Yeah,
build
you
a
get
new
stuff
garage
and-
for just for the wood.
Right. Yeah,
Oh
you get
my
stuff.
word, yeah.
Stack it. Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that.
Mm-hmm.
Our new house, we've got a big willow. God, I hate that thing. It's dropping twigs and sticks all the time.
Ah,
Yeah.
But I need the shade, so I can't cut it down.
yeah, right. All right, I can still
Let
hear
me
y'all. I'm
record,
just
I'd appreciate
camera.
it.
What was that request?
If you let me record, I'd appreciate it.
I made you a co-host, so you should be able to do it by yourself.
No, can't record and it doesn't look like my co-host.
Huh?
Hi, Donald.
He's not a co-host yet. You've not made him co-host.
Oh,
Dave Rose.
there we go. Now I got you.
Yeah, I
Thank you
guess.
very much.
There you go. Sorry, Dave.
Not a problem.
Sue, what you been doing?
Planting.
Good.
Oh my.
Well,
That's part of why we
yeah, I've been, I'm getting on it late, but, Florida soil and I have more success with grow boxes. So I had harvested some tomato seeds from tomatoes last year that I really liked.
Nice.
Planted those in seeding dirt. And then I planted spaghetti squash because I like spaghetti squash.
Ooh. Cheryl, my sister-in-law, we bought one at the store a couple weeks ago, and she made spaghetti squash lasagna.
Oh, did she?
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
And it's
I
the
like
first time I've
spaghetti
ever had
squash.
spaghetti squash.
Oh, spaghetti
that's
Oh, my.
squash.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good with just some butter and salt and pepper, but yeah, it's great with sauce. I've used it as the spaghetti when I did a chicken scampi one time. It was delicious.
Mm, yeah.
But so now this is what's funny. They really sprouted up really fast. So and you can have I don't know bunch of them in a grow box, but they don't like the grow box fertilizer. It's just too much for them. So I just used the grow box the way it is, and I thought, okay, I'm planting 8 of these suckers in there. So then I figured, okay, the other grow box, I was gonna do pepper plants, but they never came up. So I put some more seeds in another 6-pack too. And I've got nice little squashes, not squashes, but the plants coming up. And beside
Yeah.
each, a little pepper,
Ah.
put these little pepper plants. And I'm also growing, first time that I've grown this is honeydew. I love honeydew.
Oh, I know. So do I. A little bit of
No,
black
there's-
pepper. Yum,
Yeah.
yum.
So I got 9 plants planted, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, wow. God, if they all produce, you're going to have so many.
That's okay. All the neighbors will enjoy too.
Yeah.
And if
You know, the
anybody
blossom, you
that
can
they
deep,
can have,
hey, Sue, you can deep fry the blossoms too, and they're delicious.
really.
Yes. Same
So,
with, you know,
and
pretty much
they'll-
with any of the squash when they come out and bloom,
yeah,
you know, snip them off, hit them with a little bit of egg wash, dust some flour on them, and boom, right into, you know, some 350, 375 oil. Real quick go, you know, it's just a flash fry. Oh, you know, and then so it crisps up the egg and the dough, right? Cooks, you know, season it, you know, a little bit of salt and pepper. Well, I don't use salt anymore, but you know, whatever your seasoning is. And then it cooks the blossom just enough to where it's still, you know, like you do broccoli, you know, you want to have a
Uh-huh.
little bit of, you know,
al dente
not being
thing.
mush. Yeah, a Dante. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. Oh, hell yeah, they're delicious.
Now, do you use the male or the female blossom or both?
Both.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll have to try that.
Of course, if you have excess.
Right, right.
You
Yeah.
don't want to
you know,
grab all your
pocket-
blooms and not have any of your fruit.
Exactly.
right. If you got 9 plants that are all budded out, you know, which one?
Yeah.
Let's see. This one I'm gonna fry, and that one I'm gonna fry. You know,
There
it's
you go.
it's a neat little delicatessen. You know, it's you know in
Yeah.
Vegas they charge like $65 for 3 of them. You know, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
my.
Oh yeah,
Harvest them and sell them to Vegas.
right. Yeah, hey Chef Ramsay, I got something for you.
My wife
I
did
have to
some
try
last
that.
year and I didn't care for them.
What's that?
Hmm.
Yeah.
The fried blooms, yeah, my wife did some. They just weren't my thing. I'd rather have
Yeah.
the squash any day.
Hmm.
Hello.
Somebody was calling in.
Okay.
Yeah, I put mine in the desk drawer. It wouldn't shut up.
Well, it
Okay.
comes to my iPad.
No.
Oh really?
And
Yeah,
she,
I got my calls linked to my laptop. Whenever my laptop, I'm working on my laptop and a call or message comes in, and boom, you know,
Yeah.
the phone takes over. Sometimes it's beneficial, but you know, now that I've quit work, you know, it's a pain in the rear end. And I just need to remember to unlink the two.
I see on Facebook, Scott Hampton's doing the demo tonight.
Yes, he is.
Cool.
Say
He's
what?
gonna make one of them.
Who
gonna make
said
one.
I was doing the demo? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not getting out of
God,
it.
who?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, who, right? That's not my name. Look at my profile.
Well, don't care what your name is now, you're doing it.
Right? Yeah, you're on the hook, brother.
Yep.
Oh, I'm trying to fill out the
Going
month
ahead.
of May. I'm trying to give our normal demonstrators a break, but oh my God. I got a feeling I'm gonna have to come back and hit everybody up again and get the normal ones back in the queue again.
There was somebody I just saw. I was just looking back through the participants list, and whoever it was, I'd not seen them in there because it's not jarring my memory. Anyway, I saw somebody that's in our group who had something on, I think it was on Facebook, might have been on YouTube, but it would have been a nice demonstration.
Yep. Well, you guys probably saw my post that I pinned to the web page. You can have a 2-minute demo, or you can do an hour and a half, or anywhere in between. For whatever you want. I don't know. It's you know how it is trying to get demos for a group. I'm just fortunate. We do have a nucleus that
Mm-hmm.
don't have a problem doing a demo. And
Some
so
of us
that's,
are just
that's
too
the main-
shy.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was shy, but at the same time, I'm still flamboyant. So
Or have the equipment set up.
Yeah,
well, I mean, everybody's got a cell phone, and me and Doug, we do ours on the cell phone, and the videos come through.
Yeah.
They probably come through better than the cameras. The cameras are only 780.
yeah. All you gotta have is a tripod then to hold it, or somebody to hold it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah,
problem.
and
Now,
you can take 12-gauge wire and fashion that as a holder. Clamp a 2x4, to a shelf over your lathe, and then you can use 12-gauge wire to hold your cellular device, and use that to move. If you got to move or reposition the phone, it works great. You
wire.
don't necessarily need a cell or a tripod. Tripod helps, but
You got a point.
Yeah.
clothes
I've
hanger.
got a-
You can make a wrap. You can make a holder out of a clothes hanger.
Right.
We're
Mine-
all, aside from being wood turners, I mean, for the most part, we're all woodworkers. We come up with ingenious ways to do something to solve a problem that we have, that we're trying to
This
get
is true.
done.
I have screwed a 1x into the floor rafters above my head, above my lathe. And then on the bottom end, I've got just a little, what, $3 or $4 bracket that I bought at Walmart to hold my phone. And
Right.
it works. That works great. I do have a tripod as well. But then, and Matt kind of saw part of it. I've got myself set up where I can do YouTube lives. And so I've got 2 cameras there, but I can't figure out how to do the Zoom through what I've got set up. So once I figure that out, then I can use that system. So that works out pretty well.
Yeah, that's good.
Or even if anybody has any suggestions on what any one of the regular demonstrators could demonstrate on, would help too. 'Cause
Yeah.
My problem when you asked me to do it, I'm like, okay, what would I do?
Right.
So
No, I'm with you. That's why I suggested your paddle.
yeah,
And
yeah. So if we
Doing
could get
those-
more ideas,
right.
from any
Doing
of the
a
other
whole
members.
series- doing a whole series of those kit projects would not be a bad thing. You've done a pin, you've done a ice cream paddle. You can do. There's loads and loads of those kits.
Right.
And that's not the worst thing in the world. And
Yeah.
those
No,
are
it's
skill
not.
builders.
Sure.
Yeah.
Eddie talks about that all
And
the
it should-
time.
And it may, and most of the time it's going to show a different skill method or process compared to
Right.
how you're normally doing it. I.e., when I did, showed how to do a pin blank without the tube in it.
Right.
Yeah. I did the well, I did the key ring. That's it. Those things. And one of the
Yeah.
guys in the comments said, "Great Badan work." And so I just commented back to him, "Yeah, I really appreciate that, but I don't even own a Badan. That was a 1/2-inch skew that I did from
Right.
beginning to end." And I think he was a little taken back by that. My ski work's not that good.
Mine
It's just
neither.
that, you know, when you've got a 3-inch blank, you've taken it to round. How much skill does it take? Well, it takes enough to, you know, I was going from square. It takes enough to know that I can take the corners off and take it down to round, and it was pretty simple. Anyway,
Yeah,
but that's always good to see.
right.
Our
What have you been
fearless
doing,
leader-
Brenda?
You know, and then like with the skews, you know, everybody's got a different grind on it.
Yeah.
I ain't been doing nothing, Sue. I've been shopping, helping Cheryl with the house that she's got.
Yeah.
So, I ain't done no turning.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask who's Cheryl?
Oh, she's the one, my sister-in-law from Florida that was my camera lady last week
Oh, okay.
or whatever. That lives in Florida, you know. You met her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Near Orlando.
Yep. I remember that on the other side of Florida compared to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
asked her that, remember?
No.
Yep,
No, evidently not.
sure did.
Yep.
In your moment, what can I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Dane, I'll be right back. I'm gonna step away for just a minute.
And I've
Okay,
been
Doug.
planting some flowers. I still got flowers I ain't planted yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
was
know,
gonna ask you how you were doing on your flowers there.
Well, I'm down to 1 table full instead of 2.
What's the temperature out there?
Right now it's 46, looks like.
Yeah,
Oh man, today was a beautiful day.
yeah, it was beautiful here. We were gonna get a frost, so that's why we haven't put any flowers in yet.
Yeah. Mine are all in flower pots. So if it's gonna get cold or a frost, I'll just take them all back in the garage. Yeah. So. I love
That's what I
hanging
do.
baskets.
That's what I do in the front of my house. All the flower pots, or all the flowers are in flower pots.
Yeah. I got a, what is it, a 12-foot extension ladder with just the bottom part of it
Mm-hmm.
hanging under my deck, my upper deck, which
Yeah.
is the patio. Then I hang up there and flowers from it, flower pots from it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So currently on my back porch right now, I think there's 15 flower pots
Okay,
and baskets,
that's gotta be really pretty.
5 or 6 more in the yard. I love the hanging. And one day this week, I'm going to go out and get some more flowers for the flower beds.
You'll be busy.
Yeah, something to do. Well, hi, kitty.
Right. Yep, this one's coming back with us.
Oh my.
Yep,
Looks
Gotta
like a.
cut my hair and get the 3 I got.
she's a mess. Yep, she came right up to me. She remembered me.
Yeah.
They do.
Pull
My
it in.
daughter, we had my daughter's cat for a couple months, and she came up to get her the other day or yesterday, and she knew right who she was after about 5 minutes.
I got a cat question for you guys real quick. How do you keep them out of the screens?
You don't.
Screen
don't?
doors.
Yeah. How do you keep them from tearing up screen doors? Screen windows?
My
Boy,
my daughter, I don't have the nomenclature for it, but my daughter found a mat that you can put a battery in that gives them a little jolt. And once they go, they won't go near it. She won't even go near the door. I can go ahead and get you, I'm not sure if she got it from Amazon, but I can get the information for you if you want it. It doesn't hurt them, but you put the mat by the door and then,
Yeah.
you know, they'll get,
It's got little-
they'll get a little
it's got little
zoom.
plastic things up on it. I have them on the kitchen counter to keep them off the counter.
Yeah, no, this has got a battery, and then what she's done is the cat won't go near it, so she took the battery out. And so anyway,
Can you get them small enough you can put them in the windowsill?
that I'm not sure, because she was getting the bugs, going after the bugs on the window. So
Uh-huh.
we had to go ahead and take the screens out so she didn't tear them up. But I
Right.
know for a screen door that you can do the map, but I'm not
Huh.
sure.
And they're starting to tear up my windowsill in my bedroom window. Because
Yeah, I've got one doing
the window open.
Well, Dame said you can, what are they, like plastic spikes?
Yes, they're about 8 inches wide and maybe 14, 15 inches long. And they just got little plastic spikes up, so the cat, they're not able to put their pad down
Right.
because the spikes, it'll hurt them, if they were to jam down on it.
They use those,
But it just keeps them from going around on your countertops.
they use those for birds too. Like if you put them on the top of swing sets, and,
Right.
for the birds. I don't know what the nomenclature is, but
Yeah. Yep. They do product very similar. I've got it in my Amazon list. I'll between now and tomorrow, I'll go through and find it, Brenda, and send you the link.
All right.
I'll email my, or
And they were very cheap.
yeah, they're not, I know they're not those inexpensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get the,
Care that they're up in the windows or whatever, but they're tearing up the windowsill. So
Yeah. So you could take one of these, you can just run it through the bandsaw and cut it to the length
Right.
of your windowsill.
oh, you can.
Yeah, and then because they're spiked, they've got little octagons in between. If the spikes coming up on the corners of the octagon, then you can actually interlink and connect the devices. So they don't move as easily. So yeah, I'll find the link or I'll get the link
Okay.
and send it to you. I was happy with how they worked, so
Okay.
it's hard to make me happy. Captain Eddie, you there?
I see he's on.
Yeah, I got him as a co-host. Eddie, our matriarch.
I had a problem.
Mm.
Didn't know it was muted. Hi.
Oh,
What you doing in the
There he
car,
is.
Eddie?
what you doing, buddy? Waiting to go
It's-
inside?
No, it's a slightly uncomfortable brain day. So
Oh no.
my wife is teaching dancing school. I'm in a parking lot protecting things.
Okay,
So
no
that's
problem. We got you.
Okay. Well, you do what you need to do to take care of yourself.
Yeah, good to see you, Eddie.
Yeah,
Good.
it's always,
folks. It's what I love, but some days it's hard.
Yeah.
So I want to visit, and that's really all I think I can do today.
Okay, Eddie.
that's
No
okay,
problem.
Eddie.
We got your back.
We got you. As they say, we got you 6.
Hey, Brenda,
Yeah.
the name of that, it's a scat mat.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if she got it on Amazon or where, just scat mat.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Hey,
Charlie,
Dan.
you're
Dan.
so correct. Yes, sir.
I noticed behind you, that block wall underneath your house there, is that a full basement or is that just a crawl space?
No, it's a crawl space here at the lake house.
Okay. They don't have
Yeah.
any full basements out there?
Well, they do,
Lucky.
a regular house does, this is a, early manufactured home that the grandmother and, grandfather stuck up. So yeah, it's just up on blocks, totally against Kentucky code.
Yeah. I was just
Done by a
wondering
bunch
if
of, done by a bunch of jacklegs.
I was just wondering if that was a full basement or just a crawl space.
Yeah, it's just a crawl space. On the one end, hell, you can stand up in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Middle.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Anybody done any turning this week? I seen somebody had something to share.
I got a couple things. I did some big bowls, but they're curing out, so they're not finished, but
Yeah.
I've been gluing up. I got a lot of pieces of scrap wood, so I glued this little toothpick holder up.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that's
cute.
cute.
There we go.
Nice.
So, and then I hate wasting any wood, so I had a little end piece, so I made a little finger bowl.
There
There
you go.
you go.
Cute.
That almost looks segmented.
Well, like I said, I've had a lot of pieces that are, different. They're about 3/4 thick, so I just glue them up and,
Oh, okay. So
You
it
know.
is segmented.
yeah, it's not,
Okay, yeah. Now I can see it all. Yeah, I was just looking at the side there and caught the dark grain with the white wood, and I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. Because I like doing small vessels.
Yeah,
to capture the
I like when
sap wood.
you get down there and you get the diamonds and
Yeah.
you get, it's all different stuff. And then I turned, this was a piece of oak I had. I turned a little
Cool.
bowl.
Oh, that's nice. Little candy
You know,
dish.
right there is a perfect example of what I like about bowls is there's so many different shapes. You can
Yes.
100 different bowls and they're all different, because they're all different shapes. You can make them
Right.
different shapes.
So
Nice job.
we're getting there.
Yeah.
Was that inlay that you put on that bowl?
Say that again?
On the bowl, was that an inlay?
No, it's just solid piece of white
Oh,
oak.
you burned it?
Say that again?
Did you burn it or is that the one?
Yeah, no, I burnt 2 lines in it.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, okay. So,
All right. Well, we have a very problematic issue that hopefully somebody can resolve here with the 54, 55 members that we got. Ron, are you still on?
I am.
All right, I'm looking for you so I can highlight you.
I'm here.
I got you
There
now.
I am.
All right, tell us what's going on.
Well, the last fall before I left for Florida, the machine just quit and figured out that it was the VFD. So when I got back this spring, I replaced it, but I can't get it programmed correctly to run off the remotes, the switches on the lathe itself.
What did tech support say?
They haven't called me back yet.
Keep calling them.
Well, I will.
And it's a Grizzly, right?
It is, and it's a Delta VFD.
Yeah, it's a Delta. Yeah, Delta does all the VFD, even for Powermatic. They're the fair-haired child for the VFD. Have
The
you
person that-
checked in the Grizzly group?
Yeah, I sent them, went on their chat, and of course, all you could do is email them, which I did, and I'm still waiting
No,
for a response.
on Facebook, there's probably a Grizzly lathe owners group.
Well, yeah, there's a Grizzly tool
Okay.
site.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
no,
that's right, but that's probably Grizzly itself. There might, there's probably, because normally there is. I know it, I belong to the Laguna bandsaw group and the Powermatic 3520 group. There's probably a group, specific to Grizzly lathes, by, actual lathe owners, not the corporation.
You might
I would
well Google
check.
or go into YouTube and then just put that model in. And
I
well,
tried all that. I've tried YouTube. The closest thing I found was on a Microsoft. It's a YouTube video, but it's not on YouTube. It's on Microsoft.
Yeah.
Bing.
What model is your lathe, Ron?
It's G0766.
And this is the
07.
digital, this is the digital control that you're having problems with?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a step because it's a 3-phase motor with a, running on 2-phase. So it has a converter.
I would, if you want to look at something now, go look up whatever that inverter is and pull the instructions up on the inverter.
I've done that, and that doesn't run it runs the inverter. I can dial it. If I leave the cover off it, I can then dial the speed on the back of the lathe.
But those instructions will tell you what ports everything hooks up to for any remote controls.
Well, I couldn't find anything. I only found one in English. There's Spanish and there's Mexican, there's Chinese and Indian. Everything but English.
They should tell you what ports run which remotes on it and how to program it.
Yeah, I got it
In other
wired.
words-
The wiring wasn't an issue because I bought the same thing I had, so I was just put the wires back where they were.
Yeah.
But it's the
Is it
programming
the-
is an issue.
Is it the exact same controller?
Yes,
Hmm.
it's the M model.
What's the VFD number, Ron?
It's just M.
Just M, just Delta
Yeah,
VFD.
it's
model
1 to 3 M.
Billy Burt had to change his out on his Powermatic not too long ago, and ended up doing some different things instead of going directly to Powermatic. But if he comes in tonight, he might be the one that can help you out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Billy's got a video on it as well.
Well,
What he went through.
I
doing
changed mine out and I had to dig back into the instructions. I didn't change it out with what one way had.
Right.
But I just had to dig back into the instructions, and some will hook up one way and some won't hook up the other way. But those electronic devices, those torque converter things, they vary by the company. And the company may have made a change in it since the last time it was issued.
Well, it's a 2016 model, same as what was on there.
Ron, try the Jet group.
Jet?
Jet Lathes has the same inverter.
Yeah.
They just,
Okay.
they just bought a brand new
what I was
Jet.
saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Delta's got, they're the market for all the VFDs, for all the 3-phase, single-phase lathes.
And when I had problems with my Jet the other day, they told me to call Delta.
Okay.
Well, no, what'd you have problems with, Scott?
It started doing that same thing again,
Oh,
but I
Hey,
figured
guys,
out what it is.
I will look through my documentation, but somewhere at some point I downloaded a whole ton of documentation because I wasn't sure which one I had. Mine got fried in a thunderstorm on my Powermatic, and I've got something that lists the pinouts and functions for like about 20 or 30 of them. So I'll go dig through my documentation, see if I can find it, because I know I saved it. I save everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. Yeah, especially something like that. Yeah, I'm with you. I
Yeah,
think,
but it
with the brain trust here, I think we'll get it figured out one way or the other, Ron.
Appreciate the help.
Yeah, I'll go look for that during the meeting and see if I can find it. I'll
Right
ship
on.
it out to you, Ron.
The wife's answer was buy a new lathe.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I
Well, I told
absolutely,
her that,
bigger,
this,
a bigger lathe.
this,
Buy a
this
new
got
one
a
and
20
fix the old one.
so it's got a 22-inch throw. So I don't want to buy another big lathe. So I told her I wouldn't mind a second lathe, but I want a smaller one for the second one.
Hmm.
I might throw in on the back of my lathe, I put a double pole, single throw switch. I think the whole thing cost me like $8 or something. And it's got a little pilot light on the top of it. And when I use the lathe, I turn that on. When you flip that switch, it's just like you pull the plug out of the wall. I think it probably has saved my lathe. I mean, I've had this since 2000, a 3520A, and it just it's a good feeling too when you work on the lathe. You can just flip that switch.
Yeah, I did the same thing after I fried the first controller. I wired the socket with it's got a breaker switch on it for to handle the voltage, high voltage breaker switch. So when thunderstorms threaten, I just shut that sucker off. So
yeah, I just turn it on in the morning and turn it off. Yeah, I sometimes even turn it off when I come in for lunch.
that's not a bad idea if I'm going to be away for the weekend or something.
I unplug whenever I'm not at the lathe. I unplug,
Yep.
period.
The guy from Delta
I have
told me
all
to
my
unplug all the time. The Delta guy told me to unplug all the time and make
Yep.
sure you got at least 121 volts at the outlet, or you're going to have troubles with your VFDs, your new ones. They don't like low voltage. That's my problem. I had to rewire. I had to put a special outlet just for that for my lathe.
wow.
That's exactly what I did too. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Hey, Ron, I have a off the wall question. I don't remember if it was last year or one of the previous years, but we talked about going to Ron Campbell's and you had wanted some bees. You had wanted some beeswax.
Yeah,
You still want beeswax?
sure.
I found the stash. So if you're going to be at Ron's, I'll bring some.
Well, I could be up that way. I live about 15 miles south of him.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll throw it in the car and it's a box about a foot square full of beeswax.
Oh my God, that's enough for your lifetime.
Yes,
Or
it
two.
is.
2 lifetimes.
Maybe, yeah. That's a bunch. Golly.
All right.
All right, I'll take the spotlight off here, Matt. Sorry.
That's all right.
Typing, making a response in chat. Guess I can spotlight myself. So I don't know how many. I don't know how many of the folks have been on the Facebook page, but I have gone through the member list. We were, let's see, last night when I started, we were just under 2,600 members, and I went through each and every profile to find cloned accounts, obvious scammers, static digital creators. And of course, the majority of them are all from the suspect countries. And so I've removed them all. And of course, probably had 50 or 60 of them automatically. And I don't know how they do it, but new clone account, ask them to become a member. And of course, I've got questions set up now and rules set up. And so it puts them into a holding cell, per se, kind of like what Matt was describing last week. And so it makes it real easy to, if you didn't answer the questions or if you answered them wrong, obviously wrong as some of the silly responses I would get was, oh, you can make love to it, decline. It was amazing, just some of the stuff that went on. So anyhow, so long story short, so I went through it 4 times last night. in a period of, I don't know, about 6 hours doing that, and removed almost 300 members. So I think we've got everybody called out that doesn't need to be there. But, please, if anyone here in the group, sees something nefarious, you're not sure, please, let me know, let Eddie know. And I will definitely address it and take care of it one way or the other. So, yes, there's that for the Facebook page. Also
Thanks
pinned in there.
that. Thanks for that effort, Dane. I appreciate it. I know it'll be helpful for the group.
Well, definitely, so I was contacted 2 weeks ago. And so one of our members tried to buy a t-shirt from one of these guys. And, I think the t-shirt was for $15. And he wound up getting charged either $250 or $275. And so, now he's fighting with his credit card company to get the charges reversed. So that's why I came out with that, very stern message, a week, 10 days ago about, think a little bit when you're on your profile, whether it's our page or your personal page, or, you're getting stuff in text messages saying, oh, I've received a code, for unlocking my account. I need you to enter this code. It's all a scam, and people just need to think through it a little bit better. And I think as a whole, we'll do a better job of not being taken advantage of. And like I'd said, a couple of weeks ago, whether it was a post or, during the meeting here, at no times are we going to ask or solicit money from the group, especially online. We're not going to be soliciting money. And anytime that we're, like with the stickers, everything was put up front to the members, on our weekly meetings, and then broadcast out onto the Facebook page, and then broadcast out onto the web page. So everybody knows, this is a legit thing that we're actually doing, with the stickers. So anything else, it's coming through soliciting money, unless you hear it during the group from one of us members that are trying to do something for the group. It's bogus. You know what I mean? And yeah, so we got that done. Set up some really nice questions. You guys want to know what the questions were?
Yeah.
Yep. So first question is, if you can hold it, you can, and so everything is, you got to write in the answer. So if you can hold it, you can what?
Turn it.
Turn it.
Turn it.
Yep. And then so one of the other acceptable answers was appreciate it. And I thought that was really nice. So that was from a gentleman in Israel. So I thought, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. Of course, he answered the other questions copacetically. So, and then so the next question is, you can turn small on a big blank, but you can't turn big on a blank. And of course, the answer is
Lathe.
So, and I got a response from somebody in Croatia, and he said, well, you can, and he listed it out: drill press, radar arm saw, bandsaw. I'm like, yeah, son of a gun, you are correct. So he was admitted.
Yeah, the short answer, Dane, is that you get all kinds of interesting answers. It's anything out of the ordinary means that there's a human on the other side typing it.
Right. Yep. And then so, well, I just thought I'd share, some of these unique answers we get, that were, actually valid, you hadn't even thought about. And then, so the third question is something to the effect of, do you believe all turning secrets should be kept close to the vest or should they be shared? And,
Sure, of
so the
course.
obvious answer is, shared and, those are all the proper response. And then, the group rules, the typical, no bullying, no politics, stuff like that. So, and it's really cut down on the number of requests. So it's been very pleasant, doing that. So, we got a handle on that. I think, the group's in good control of what's going on, but, I can't reiterate, if you see something that's not right, doesn't look right, let me know, let Eddie know, let Dave Rhodes know, and, we'll jump on it. So
I tell you what, I've noticed the biggest change in the Facebook page. And what I like about it is the new members lists, they're getting recognized now.
yes, yeah. So
I
I've
like
set
that.
up rules. So I've set up rules to allow for that, or to post that automatically. And I think that's a good item. So
Yeah, it's
I'm glad that
makes it more
positive
personable.
response. Right. And I just wish we had more members, jumping on and saying howdy and welcome. And we got Joaquin, we got Doug, Brenda, and we got Hank.
Matt's usually saying hi.
Yeah, we got Matt. But again, it's the typical. It's the same folks doing. If we can get more folks in there, welcome aboard. Possibly, we can garner some more viewership on our evening program here. And so, right now we have 68 members, and we are almost half past the hour. So I think right now, Sue, if you are prepared, would you like to do safety now?
Sure.
Okay, outstanding. And then so after safety Sue's very important information that she's going to share with us tonight on whatever subject it is, that we do need to know about or be refreshed about. We have an addendum video and a little bit of personal verbiage from Gary in Oklahoma on table saw, which is the addendum to last week's safety that Sue did on the table saw. So we've got a special treat on that. And then after that, we'll do a couple gallery items. And then probably close to top of the hour, we will go to Middle California and see what Scott Hampton's doing and what he's going to display for us and hopefully turn a perfect item for us. Great technique, proper cutting and slicing, and some interesting verbiage to go along with it. So without further ado, let's go to Sue.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Sue.
Well, last night when I did the table saw, I only did half of the talk. It said it would be continued. So tonight it's continued. Now,
Oh, awesome.
some of the stuff
Everything's
that was brought up last week is also that was up for tonight. But the thing is, we need to be safe around sharp things, guys. And we're talking at a table saw, stand to the side. Don't be closer than 6 inches to the blade. If a piece of wood is 6 inches and you're trimming it, make sure that you're using a push stick. And here's another one. If the piece is too long, make sure you have a table on the other end. Or one of those, and I forgot the name of them, with the
outboard
yes.
table.
Support things.
The support things. I knew about
with
One of
rollers.
them
but I'm
thingy-majiggies.
talking the big
Rollers.
Rollers.
the big rollers.
Oh, the dead man.
I have a Harbor Freight roller, and it's dinky. The ones that you get from Rockler or Woodcraft are beautiful, but they're pricey. And I want to talk about riving knives.
Oh, man.
I have an old Jet. I got it off Let Go for $100. It was crummy, so I worked on it, and, but they don't have riving knives. So when I made zero clearance, I made sure there were splitters on the zero clearance. Always use your riving knife, and on older saws, make sure you've got a splitter on the back so that the wood doesn't grab itself and then come back.
Pinch.
Also, when you're cutting wood, do not lift the wood. Just push it and make sure that it's down there. Again, don't put your hand more than 6 inches. Okay. You'd like to have your digits when you come home. And last week we talked about that one person that wanted to show that how good the saw stop was and put his finger in the blade. Well, malfunction, your finger wouldn't be there. If you're going to test a $150 item, at least use a hot dog or something. When you're cutting wood, you're using your right hand. Now you can use your left hand if you want to keep a little bit of a tension on it. Okay, but really your right hand is doing the work. Your left hand can be by your side or off. It shouldn't be anywhere near that. If you have another piece of wood to cut, turn off the saw, reposition your legs, make sure you're balanced, and then do it. You're talking, what, 30 seconds, turn it off, make sure it stops spinning. You've already finished the first cut. Now you want to get positioned for the second cut. So take our time. Using a table saw is not production work. Oh, here's one. And we all do it with our legs. You should do it with your table saw, your bandsaw. Keep the saw polished and free of debris. It's easier to push things through. You don't want any rust on it. So just, be cognizant of what you're doing and maintaining your saws. Well, this is the same thing that I had said. Never operate a table saw with the throat insert removed. Okay, so just don't, because
The dado jump.
exactly.
You got a dado head in there.
Wood that is fed to a gaping hole can drop down and get caught on the blade. That can happen if the throat insert is in place. So just be. Don't use a crosscut. Or your miter gauge rather, if you're doing a cut and using your saw guide. Not even if you're going to do a dado. All you have to do is have less than a second. You've got a gouge in an appendage. So do not make freehand cuts. Okay, and normally the people that do that are people that either don't know anything or they're the professionals that do shortcuts. I was at a class one week and we had a gentleman he's noted for Art Deco work, fantastic Art Deco artist and furniture maker. His name is Rodell. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Nice guy, but he freehand cuts. I was cringing every time he would just start pushing the wood in and then back it right back out with the blade turning. Well, this is how you do this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'll never do that. Because it scared me. If you're scared to do the cut, for heaven's sakes, don't do it. Again, keep your blade guard, splitters, and anti-kickback fingers in place and operating freely. Check the action of these items before starting your work. You have to excuse me, my eyes aren't doing well today. Work should be released only when it is past the blade. Releasing work too early is an invitation to kickback, as it is possible for the blades to grab the part that has not yet gone by. When the stock is lifted or tilted, we went over this, the saw is able to shake the stock. If this happens and you lose your grip, duck down and hit the dirt because that thing's coming back at you. And again,
To the
another,
side.
yeah, really step to the side. Check before cutting, like nails, knots, screws, stones. Such fun items can become projectiles. And if they hit, they smart and may cause serious injury as well. Also, damage to carbide tip blades can be major, even if it all this doesn't scare you. It should. The fence and the miter gauge are not meant to be used together. We went over this. The first thing that I built with my table saw was a crosscut sled. And it's a pretty big one. That's the way I could use stops on either side and move my things if I want to do 10 items at the same length. I could just put a little stop block and do the 10 items. On my zero clearance inserts, I have one for dados, I have one for a 1/8 inch blade, and I also have one for the thin curved blade I have. And it pays to be safe. We don't normally wear a face shield, but you should be wearing safety glasses, and you should always wear dust mask. I don't have a dust collection for my table saw. I push it outside and I do it, but still wear a dust. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week, and I'm even looking more forward to this video that we've got. So take care, you guys.
Outstanding.
Thank you,
Good
Sue.
tips there, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Welcome.
So briefly, so I,
What's up?
carry on here with what Sue was saying, but you have to be real careful also with hardwoods that are cupped and twisted at the same time, because as you're cutting it, the wood fibers will release, and the majority of the time, that release is going to cause a bind or a pinching with the blade. So about 20 years ago, I was ripping up some zebra wood for cutting boards, and it was cupped, it was twisted. And I said to myself, shouldn't be doing this. But, dear old other self that was sitting up here said, nah, go ahead, you got this. And so as I'm, pushing it through, ripping my 2.5 inch pieces, I got to that one section where the grain was all gnarly and twisted, and the major cup was coming up. That released, it binded, and of course the saw grabbed the hold of it. It kicked it right back into my midsection, and it was like a gravel rash, like you'd fell on your bicep, from the end of that 6-inch piece of zebra wood as it hit me and then glanced off to the side, and it went all the way around. It took forever for it to heal up. Don't have a scar now. And of course it knocked the wind out of me, and I'm like, sitting down on, in my shop, and I'm like, oh my God, what just happened?
Ouch.
So be very mindful of twisted and cut wood, especially if you're ripping. That's the dangerous side. If you're cross cutting, it's not so bad because it's going to catch and it's going to whip the board, towards, the right hand side. But ripping, definitely be careful. So, all right. So with that, let's go to Gary, and listen to and see what he's got on
Okay,
this
you
table
got me.
saw problem. I got you now, Gary.
Okay, well, about a month ago, I went out and bought a new table saw. It was a hybrid, and it fit the two main requirements that I had. It was mobile, and besides being, anyway, this particular model that I bought, it had 3 wheels on the back side, or on the right hand side there were 2 wheels, and one on the left-hand side. And I have to be able to move that table saw in and out. So I'm only 4.5 hours away. So I went to Grizzly and purchased this model. This one is the 962A. Well, when I got it home and put it together, there it is being put together. After I used it for a couple of days on the wheels, holy cows, did that scare the whop out of me. Okay, what I did not record was if I then on my right or my left hand, that back handle, if I lifted up a little bit, that table saw went to a 2-point pivot. It would have completely fallen on its face if I had been standing in front of it and was doing a pivot, like just turning like a 90-degree or something like that. And you hit some shavings on the ground or on your floor, that thing could come completely over and land right on your legs. Okay, well, I called Grizzly, talked to tech, talked to sales. They were very, very good, very nice. So I boxed it all back up again and took it back up to them and got full credit. I'll let it run one more time. See it. And just pushing down on that one handle. And if I did more, it would go on up. But I got full credit for it. And then let's see here. I need to stop this one. And I need to grab this one. So for $106 or $170 more, I got this model. And I'm very, very happy with it to where I had to put it on a new set of casters. It does now have cast iron wings and it will roll out for me very easily. And I am very happy with this model. It's an 0771Z. It will pivot and roll out whatever I need to do. Putting the feet down. It's not as solid completely as it might be if it was not on the wheels. But for everything that I do, it's more than stable enough. But as Sue said, I think she moves hers out. I don't know how she moves hers out. But for me, I've got to be able to move it out and turn it. I've got a table behind it if I were doing something large, pushing something through. But anyway, the whole object is things can be dangerous even when they're not turned on if you're not careful. So just be aware of what's going on in your shop and go accordingly.
Definitely. That's some good info there, Gary.
Yes.
Hopefully it can be used. I mean, tech support and sales were very understanding and all the rest of that. So, and because I was close enough to where I didn't use motor freight either the first or the second time, I was able to take it back, change it for just the price difference on this upgraded model. But the base part of the saw is the same. The motor, it's a 2-horse motor, and all the rest of it is the same between the two of them. But it was just that one model with those wheels, in my opinion, it's dangerous.
Right. Yeah, it definitely looks dangerous.
You have to put your own wheels on the replacement?
Yes. The wheels, well, my original table saw had a set of the casters, and it's a Grizzly set of rollers. It's their model 28,000 it's like 90 some dollars for it. And so I had an extra set. And so I put it on it. It's the same, I've got that same set on my bandsaw. And I have a vertical mill drill. And that one weighs about 800 pounds. And it's the same set of casters on all three of them. And they all work quite well, or so far. I've not had any problems. But yeah, this one here, this one weighs about 300 and some pounds, this particular saw. And yeah, it went on another set of wheels, casters. So yeah, it was $170 more plus the $100 for the set of rollers to get the upgraded. And I'm very happy with this one.
Looks like a
Right.
nice,
Lots of power and had very good accuracy. I have gone to a sled. I've built one sled. It was kind of a quick and dirty one, but I used it as a learning experience, and I'll be building another one here in a month or two, but that's not one of my priorities. My priority is trying to get the lathe back up and running, because this is the brand new shop, new house for us. So I've been having the project is the biggest one that's on fire right now, you know, what's the hottest.
Right.
Everything's set
Most
up.
important.
Yeah.
Yep. Understandable. Well, that's great. That's you know, again, it's very valuable information for the group. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding?
I got one thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I just mentioned the micro gripper. I'm not selling it or anything, but it's a pretty good push stick, and if you're doing small stuff, it really works well. I use it in conjunction with a push stick as well, but it gets you around. I don't have it. I'm not in my shop to show it, but if you go on microjig.com, you can look at it, and they're relatively inexpensive, but it works pretty well.
Yeah.
So I just throw it out there.
That's the same company that makes the sliders for some of the sleds also.
Yeah,
They've got a set of slides for the sleds.
but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good info. Good info.
Do you know how much more a saw stop would cost than that Grizzly?
A saw stop, you mean for kickback?
No, the saw stop table saw
Oh, compared to a saw,
compared to the one you got.
no idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably another $1,200.
Twice
Yeah.
as much.
I would say probably about twice the cost of what this one cost me.
If memory serves, several years ago when I was thinking about jumping back in and getting a table saw, my original one died, and I never replaced it at the time. And so I was looking at getting another table saw. So I was in a conundrum of trying to pick between the Delta contractor and, you know, one of the, you know, applicable Delta saw stops, and their pricing is, you know, in my opinion, is astronomical. Yeah, it's great for the safety feature, you know, but you cut a piece of wet wood and it's going to trigger, and that's $150 replacement for that new piston doodad that's there, you know, and along with the saw, because the blade itself gets ruined as well.
Dang,
don't know how many
that's not exactly correct. Let me put it that way. That's a bad way to say it.
Okay,
First of all, I've had it, I've triggered it once, totally my fault. I did not have to buy a new saw blade. I took the brake off and took the saw blade in and had it sharpened, and had it checked out, and there was no problem with that. But
Okay.
if you go to cut wood, there's an option on the saw stop that you can cut wet wood. You have to turn off there's a key or a
Yes.
switch.
Yep.
I forget
Yep.
which.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got to tell it, but keep it, so keep in mind, how we, how woodworkers are. We, sometimes we forget those little things. Granted, you'll only do it one time, right? But again, it's a fabulous machine. I ain't discounting, the machine. They've got the patent on it. They've got another 33 years on that patent, and when that patent expires, then the rest, then that technology is going to go out to the rest of the manufacturers. Should they want to, incorporate that in their saws, which they won't, because the saw stop owner, when he came up with it, he tried to present it to the Deltas and the Powermatics and everybody, all the other equipment makers, Jet, and they all said, no, we're not interested in it. But
part of the reason
it's-
they're not interested is they saw if they put it on the lower price saws, it would add like $300 to the price of the saw, and nobody would buy their saw. So, and then if they put it on some saws and not the other, if someone was to hurt themselves on the cheap saw that didn't have the stop feature,
right,
they'd sue them because they didn't have the stop feature. There was a case actually in Arizona not too long ago. Somebody bought a Jeep and didn't get the automatic braking feature, ended up killing somebody, and they sued Jeep because they didn't put it on the thing, even though it was an option they didn't select. So,
right.
And you can't
lawyers.
cut resin on them either.
Right. The
Resin
saw,
will make them trigger too.
yeah, saw stop, contractor saw starts at, $1,979. I've never seen them with a hybrid. The professional cabinet saws start $2,849 and go up to $6,000 or $7,000. So, yeah.
It's great. Hey, it's a pretty saw, and the safety feature on it is fantastic. But if we just follow some of Sue's advice and then incorporate that with some common sense, our Deltas, our Harbor Freight table saw is going to function the way it's supposed to, and you're going to have all your digits. If you practice one hand length away from the saw blade, like Sue says, your hand shouldn't get triggered into the blade. So, all right, well, let's.
Tim Hatch has a saw accessory that he made that he'd like to show. And since we're talking table saws.
Cool, that sounds good. Tim, I'm looking for you. I'll bring you up here. I'll give you advance notice that I'm coming. So I got you there.
Well, I've been in
now we
the
got
shop
you.
for a while because I've been out training and doing funny things, but that's my push stick. So it's 2 pieces of 3/4-inch plywood. I got some I think they're 1.5 holes here so I can grip it. And then this bottom foot here is just a piece of oak or any type of scrap wood. Of course, as the blade, I may be pushing over the top of something as the blade may go through that bottom foot. I can just cut off my saw marks and then just glue another piece on there. I've had this thing for about 3 years plus. I kind of just incorporated a couple different ideas from different YouTube guys and said, hey, that makes a pretty good push stick. It's also reversible, so you can catch it this way as well. So figure I'd show that to you guys. I mean, I typically will ride the rail, with my fence, put my hand over the fence, holding the push stick, and as I'm cutting the wood. So, like I say, I've had it for 3 years. I've replaced the bottom here about 4 or 5 times already, and real
Tim,
convenient.
Tim, could you do a write-up on that and then do dimensions on how you made it and send to Dave? We can put that on the website. That's
okay. Yeah,
That's a decent.
Good
Again,
idea.
pretty simple,
Functional.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Okay.
Tim?
Yep.
Go ahead, Brenda.
No, I just said thanks, Tim.
Oh, sorry.
My homemade one is
All right.
similar to Tim's, except I don't have the finger holes in it. It's actually a pistol grip handle. And I made it on a piece out of a piece of 6/4 oak, I believe. And the main push stick and the handle are two separate pieces. I'd show it to you, but I'm not in the shop.
Yeah, right.
But like his,
like
I
it's a-
can replace the the back part that pushes the wood. The key thing is making sure that you keep pressure down. And that's the reason I like this push stick. It's about 1 foot long. And when you're pushing on it with the handle, the toe of the push stick is actually pushing down onto the piece, keeping it down on the table so that it will not let you get a kickback.
Good idea.
Greatly enhance the prevention of the kickback.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. The other thing
You
that
know what I
helps
mean.
there is either a splitter or a riving knife, which is
Right.
why I bought my new table saw. All I had was a homemade splitter. So I got a table saw with a riving knife, and I've never been happier.
Yep.
I've had too much wood move on me going through the blade.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, I never replaced my table saw. I got my 14-inch Laguna, and I don't do much flat work anymore. And what flat work I do, I use hand. I'm back to using hand tools like how I started, and I prefer doing it with hand tools. So
I'm
all right,
too
well,
lazy.
yeah, I find it therapeutic. So all right,
Well,
we've got a
since I'm up here, I don't have anything to show because I
Okay.
just passed them on to the customer. I finished 2 wands this morning. Video will be coming up this weekend, I think.
You finished 2 what?
Wands.
Wands.
Yes. The
Nice.
magic.
Oh, as in Harry
the
Potter?
magic kind. Yeah.
The magic kind with
okay.
stones.
Yeah, I got a
Switchel sticks.
yeah, I got an order for 2 custom
Nice.
Potter-ish wands, so I knocked those out.
Cool. And you got a video coming up on your YouTube?
Yep.
Okay,
This
make sure you
weekend
post
sometime.
make sure you post a link to it on the group page.
Oh, okay. I haven't been doing that. I didn't know to.
Well, now you do. I think it is perfectly fine for our YouTubers to post their new videos on the page. We got a couple that's doing it already, so I don't see anything wrong with it. Anybody else has?
I'm glad it's okay because I do it.
we can have a discussion about it if others find it obtrusive or anything like that, or but I don't see anything wrong with it. We're promoting our members here, so and also our YouTubers are putting something out that's allowing you to learn something different. Hopefully when you watch somebody doing something, you pick up at least one trick or skill. So thanks, Billy. Right on, brother. All right, so we have a couple people in for gallery. Let's do a couple gallery items, and then so we got 3 folks on board. We got Dave Edwards, Matt Harbor, and we got Heather at Spirit Wind. So we'll do those 3, and then we're going to go to our feature demonstration tonight. So Dave, where you at? There he is. How's it going, Dave? I know what you're going to show.
I think you have the wrong Dave. I didn't get in the shop at all this week. Grandpa.
Need Edwards. A big finger. Sorry.
That's all right.
There he is. I got you. If you would have talked, it would have been a heck of a lot easier, instead of waving your hand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to give that message. We hear it. We've heard it now for almost 4 years.
He was talking sign language.
Yeah, it'd be like if I started speaking German, so there's only a couple people in the group that would understand me.
So I made another bowl. And this is my third one. I'm working up to 7 of them. But a little bit different than the rest of them.
Nice.
The other ones were all segmented for 6 pieces around here. This is 12. And it sort of has a little pink tint to it, but you can see through it.
Yeah, some of your bowl's missing.
Huh?
I said some of your bowl is missing.
That's a great idea. That's cool, Dave.
That
Yes,
is cool.
it is.
That's really cool.
Now,
And
acrylic too, isn't it?
all it is the epoxy and just a little bit of a color, a little bit of a tint of a color. But you have to separate each one of the blocks on a sacrificial core and glue them all in where you want them, but you have to space them out with removable spacers so that when you get done to pour the epoxy in, you'd have to take out all the spacers.
Wow.
So this is what I've come up with on this one here.
It's
Very
beautiful.
involved.
That is cool. Is there any way you can show us how, do a demonstration on how you did that?
No.
I'd be happy with a picture that shows the spacers and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I could maybe do that. I don't know about the pictures. I can send Matt the pictures, I guess, but I'm not very good in
demonstrating
things or.
No, I ain't either.
I'm not a very good camera person, in other words.
No
Hey,
worries.
if you can get pictures of the thing in process and send them to me,
Yeah.
I'll show them to everybody else, Dave.
It has to be the next bowl. It can't be this one.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
No, just assemble that one and do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it looks like each one of the pieces are suspended.
Yes.
Yep.
But then you can look through, but each one of them has a different tint that I made so far. One was a dark green. I couldn't see through it. Next one was like a watercolor. And then this one is just a light pink.
I like that. That is so cool.
Very nice.
Hey, Dave.
What kind of wood it is, because I really don't know. It was just some wood that I had bought on the internet and, in package deal,
Yeah.
So I just split them all up and then I just take and turned them. But what really makes it nice is if you look closely, some of the staining from the epoxy has wicked into the wood, but that makes it look nice.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it does.
Yep.
That
Hey,
is
Dave, you know what?
Very
You
interesting.
know what would be cool if you could put a little LED light in the bottom of it, and
Yeah,
it would provide internal light, and it would make it even more translucent
yeah, right.
for the resin. Do that for your next one. That's the challenge.
Yeah, right.
Then you need,
With this one.
then you need a long
Right.
extension cord.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's go to Matt. Hey, Matt, what you got?
Hey, well, both of them, in response to an earlier question about bowls and so on, they come in different shapes and sizes. This is something I turned off of a waste piece at the bottom of another, and it's just a knick-knack bowl. It's like a little less than 5 inches in diameter. It's cherry. It was something else, and it was the waste piece at the bottom. And they come in all shapes and sizes. You guys have seen this one before. Matter of fact, I demonstrated how to cut these things out. The natural edge box elder.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it was fun. Actually, what happened with this is I was pulling it out of a box to show somebody, and I dropped it on a hard floor, and 4 of these things broke off. So I super glued them back on and refinished everything, and now it's all good to go again. Jigsaw puzzle assembly. And then the question about what have y'all been turning this week? Well, I've been turning mushrooms out of branchwood I've got floating around. A lot of it just looks like this. I made, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 of them here. And y'all know that one of the things I do is I paint the tops of the mushrooms. I mean, you've been using this 3D paint, so it's a lot of fun. And so that's what I'm doing with them. So there seems to be a lot of demand for it. So I made a bunch of mushrooms today and yesterday. So
good.
Oh,
All right, so we got a demo coming up on how to paint them then.
we do.
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to contact you about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
you just haven't picked a date yet.
End of May, beginning of June sounds good. But
I
yeah,
can't
right
do
on.
it. I
Thanks,
can't do
Matt.
end of May, so 1st of June. It'd have to be first week in June.
Okay. Yeah, I like, we'll talk, so it's all good.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Thanks, Matt. Right
Yep.
on, brother.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. All right, let's go to Heather.
Hey, should I wave too? Here I am. I'm here. I'm the colorful one.
Hi, Heather.
Okay.
Hi.
Somebody's there. She is.
I got
Yeah,
it.
I'm the one
Thank
that colored.
Hey, you're not working tonight.
Remember,
No, I'm not.
folks, I'm on a cell phone and I'm looking at, names, in a screen about yay big. So it takes a while to span through it. So if my co-hosts are able to find it before I do, great. And then let me know.
What?
They're all new programs tonight.
Okay.
Okay. So I've been turning a few little things this week, actually over the past few weeks, because I haven't been able to get on because I have been working. So this is something, I think it was Jim Duxbury made one of these.
Oh, beautiful.
Remember who put it on
Probably.
a couple weeks ago? I think it was
Yeah, I
Jim.
did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, very
There you go.
nice.
Sure did.
So I had to make one.
Oh,
I
my
was thinking
goodness.
maybe the next one I'm gonna start turning along the edge more so that the sides are actually concaved a bit. It'll
That
bring
might
the
look
point,
cool.
the
Yeah.
corners out to the point more.
Wow.
But that was fun. That was just a scrap piece of pine 4x4.
Nice job, Heather.
Fine job, Heather.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And
So what'd you do for your
I've-
finish?
oh, I don't know. I think it was just shellac or something. I can't remember. I don't know, something I had in the cupboard. It's shiny.
Something shiny.
Something shiny. Okay. This one, I'm just the video isn't out yet. It should be out tomorrow.
Goodness.
It's probably about maybe 6 inches tall.
I either saw a short on it or
Yes.
some other kind of video, but yeah.
Yeah, it was just a
Nice.
short. I didn't
Very-
show the
very
hollowing
nice.
because the hole is so small, you couldn't see any of the hollowing done. But I have a question. I used the Ohuhu markers on it. They're supposed to be alcohol base markers. And when I sprayed the finish on, it was the Rust-Oleum clear gloss spray. It ran. The colors ran a bit. So I know I kind of fixed it, but there's a little spot here, I think it is. I don't know if you can see that, where the colors ran from the purple.
Mhm.
I carved the colors off, and this one, the color ran from the red. You can't quite see it, I guess, but
Yeah, you
anyway.
can see the carving mark there. Yeah. But
Yeah.
hey, that looks good.
Right.
Looks good.
But I don't know what kind of finishes to use on the alcohol ink so it doesn't run.
I'm
Really?
surprised that clear Rust-Oleum made it run. Lacquer will make alcohol inks run.
Yeah, I
Um,
put a very, very light coat on because I didn't want it too heavy.
Yeah,
first, and I
your
just
first few
sprayed-
coats should be very, very
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, very, like it looked like just very tiny light speckles. It was such a light finish, and I did that
Yeah.
probably about 5 times.
Yeah, and you'd have really been sad if you tried to brush it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a water-based polyurethane?
Maybe.
Maybe,
Water base, you think? Yeah.
maybe.
Yes, yes,
Again, really light coat.
It might
Yeah.
soak in more instead of
How
running.
long did you let them dry?
Probably about 4 hours in between. Like it was, I
Wow.
wanted to make sure it was good and dry because I know if it was a little bit wet, it would probably run. But yeah, I don't know. Just looking, I see another spot here where it ran below the red just a little bit here. So, I don't know.
Still really pretty though.
Yes,
Yeah, thank
beautiful.
you. Sign
Yeah.
the
I mean, you
bottom.
can't,
nice.
Heather, you
That's
can't
just as-
see it unless you point it out. So,
That's right. Yeah, because that's
know.
because I fixed it. Because I'm a carver too, so I can delicately scrape it
Right.
off really,
Yeah.
really
you know
carefully.
you know how to follow the grain.
That's
We're
right.
our own worst critics.
Yeah,
Always.
that's true.
Yes, we are.
All
And
right.
something else I've been doing is making urns. I
There you
made
go.
these keepsake urns. I have 4 of these going to family members.
Those are cute.
And
this pup streak it down and milk it day.
I couldn't hear that.
Oh, that was somebody's TV.
Got 'em.
Okay. And this is the main one.
Gorgeous.
That
That's
is beautiful.
Match the
Yes,
grain.
Made out of
it is.
salted birch.
Absolutely beautiful.
So the
Super.
top, it separates here
Ooh,
for ease of filling.
nice pop fit.
The lines meet up, the grains meet up here on the other
Mhm.
side. So yeah.
Boy, the
Yeah.
attention to
There.
detailing that is beautiful.
It really
Yes.
is.
Thank you. And this top comes off
Oh, goodness
Oh.
gracious.
so they can spread the ashes later.
Threaded, very
Well,
nice.
It's just
cool.
plumbing pipe.
Okay.
I think it's
Nice.
1.5 inches, I think.
Hey,
2
threads,
inch.
threads are
Did
threads.
you
Yeah.
did you
That's right.
polish it?
On what, the inside?
No, the PVC. Did you polish it?
No, I didn't. No,
No.
it's just threaded. Like I bought it
You
thread,
you
2
must
threaded
have
pieces.
you must have a different kind of black PVC up here than what we do down here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But
Ours is
and the
ours is
top
a
is
very
walnut.
dull color.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Very good.
it's pretty shiny. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know it is.
if it wasn't going to family, I would have taken the printing off the top here. I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be sealed, or I don't know what they're going to do with it after.
Right.
Probably spread the ashes in the lake or something. But it seals up nice and tight.
Yeah. Depending
Like
upon
oil.
what the print medium is, you might be able to just wipe it off with the nature of alcohol,
Yeah.
unless it's imprinted in it.
Oh, it's right. It's raised. It's
Is it?
It's
Oh, okay.
embossed in, like embossed.
Ah,
in,
got
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Little 320 will do it.
Yeah. But
I like the way you've
That's it.
made the
Very
2
good.
openings.
Very nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Good job.
Okay,
Above and
that's it.
beyond.
Yeah.
Great
All
job,
right.
Heather.
Very good.
Well,
Thank
all
you.
right. So let's go to our featured demonstrator tonight. We have Scott, Am I Nuts Hampton, going to be doing a candy dish tonight. Scott, you ready? He just sent me a message.
Said he
and
was
saying
ready.
Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Tough for dumber.
Come on, Scott. We're ready.
All right, we will come back to Scott.
I'm here. Just give me one real quick second.
Oh,
Real
okay.
quick
Okay.
second. I'm
We just need
setting up a recording so it'll go to my computer. So let me.
Should I do another gallery item?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So with that, while we're got the little brevity going on here, let's go to Mr. Duxbury.
You got it. You see me?
Well, I almost had you, and then your name skipped.
Gotcha.
I'm waving. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Waving does no good.
No, well, I hollered too. Anyway, I'm known for doing a lot of woodworking, and we were talking tonight about table saws. I just had to show this. This
Oh,
this
that's cute.
this is a push stick, okay?
That's cool.
I don't use it, but you know, you get all kinds of things for Christmas. You never know what you're gonna get, but
Looks a little squirrely to me.
it is a little squirrely. Yeah.
Right?
Somebody had to say that.
Love it.
But I had to show a real push stick because this is what I use, and this is cut out on a scroll saw, and this is probably 10 years old. There's probably been 30 of these things put on the bottom, new pieces. In fact, it's about ready for a new one. But I use the table saw every day. I could tell you all kinds of stories about that. While I'm on, I'll show. We've been talking. I showed about the offset chuck, and I put on the mandrel. I put a threaded piece to take a bottle stopper. So this is turned off center. This is turned on 2 centers. Whoop. And this one is the same kind of thing. This is turned on 4 centers.
Using your jig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That's the same offset with three different indexes, 120, 240, and 360.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Lots of fun.
Yep, indeed. High revolutions.
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to Versailles, California, and see what's
All right,
going
I'm
on.
ready.
Scott, you ready? All
Yes,
right.
sir. Okay, where am I here? Hey, oh, there I am.
There he
Oh, there he
is.
is. All right, everybody. Today we're going to make a shallow bowl candy dish. Let me show you a sample of what I've been working on. It's not going to be quite the same as this. I'm going to add some different details to it, but it's going to be something like this.
Cool.
Nice.
Except for the rim, I'm going to actually torch it and then put some colored waxes on it to make it pop. So that's what we're going to do today. This is just regular dye. There's no burning on this one, but this is a practice piece. I like the way the bottom came out. Got a nice foot and things like that on it. So it's not finished or anything, but I'll get to it eventually. So, but that's what I'm going to be making today. And the first piece, I've got it mounted here on my lathe. Let's go to 3 cameras so you guys can see everything. And it is, so you can see it's kind of thin. It is 2 1/4 inches thick. And it's just about 11 inches in diameter to start with. I guess I still got to level everything off. And to make Safety Sue happy, I'm going to wear me my safety helmet. Hey, I hope you guys can still hear me. I'm not too muffled, am I?
No,
You're good.
I'm good? Okay, good. So the first thing I want to do is I want to true up the edge here. So I'm going to grab me a 1/2 inch bow gouge. It's got some sort of wing back. It's not too back as far as bringing the wings too far back, but that's the way I like it, like this. And we got a little vibration because it's out of round. So I'm going to see if I can bring that past the vibration. It doesn't sound like it, so I'm going to turn it back down. Once we get it balanced, it'll do much better. Wow. Even at 400, 500. All right, there we go, 500. And then we'll just clean this edge up. I'm going to switch over to the overhead. There we go. And I've got the tool at 45-degree angle for the cut. It's like right there. It's kind of hard to see on the video. My camera needs to come a little forward back, but I don't want to mess with it right now. But it's about right there. I'm using the bevel as a guide. So it's not too out of round, or because my tool isn't really jumping around too much. So only one or two of these passes should balance it out this direction. And one more pass there, just nice and easy.
From not doing.
Pardon? Oh, I could hear somebody talking in the background, so thought there was a question there. And I'm using my body to lean into the cut. Like that. Gotta clean up that edge right there. It's not perfectly, but it is balanced enough for right now. So I'm gonna grab me my larger 5/8 bowl gouge, and I'm gonna clean up the face. Raise up my tool rest a little bit. And the reason I have my tailstock in there, it's on a screw center, but it's just as a safety precaution. It helps cut down on vibration also. This is my 5/8, and it's a real heavy, good gouge for this. And I'm just going to do cuts using the tip and the wing right about, where did I got a pencil at? I thought I had a pencil. There we go. So I'm going to be cutting right about in this area, right in here. Let's see if I can turn it up just a little bit more. Better. Needs a little bit more work right here on the ends. So I get the solid wood. There we go. Get all that unevenness out of the piece here. I'll be able to turn it up a bit faster. I'm going to put an OG curve on the bottom. First thing I want to do is kind of roughly measure out the bottom in thirds. Using a pencil. I'm going to switch over. Let's see if I can. There we go. So I'm just guessing here. I'm not going to measure too much. So that should be a decent sized foot for it. There, and there'll be a recess. I'm going to create a recess instead of a tenon. And I'm just going to go about halfway in between these two. Right there. And I'll probably adjust it as I go. So the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to create a cove right in this area here between the line and the edge. Now, if you got any questions, just let me know. Yell it as loud as you can so I can hear it.
Okay, will do, Scott.
Let me do, yeah, let's do a 3. Oh, overhead. That's better. That way you guys can see what's going on over here and what's going on at the face at the same time. The overhead will allow you to see the shape take place.
Nice camera angle. He's doing a full cut there.
So because I got a little bit of extra thickness there, I'm just going to go beyond that pencil line a little bit. Kind of make that way when I turn it around, I don't have to take so much off of the face. if I can turn it up now a little bit faster. A little slower. I had to do some work on my lathe. A little while ago, I had to actually strip the threads on the bearing or on the
Spindle?
On the spindle, yeah. So a friend of mine runs a really nice automotive machine shop, and I took the headstock in and we popped everything out. We re-threaded everything, and it's running perfect, except I still got a little bit of a vibration issue with it. I don't know. I don't think it's just sitting on the floor quite right, because I did take the headstock off and the tailstock and it bare boned it down to all kinds of things. So I'm thinking I need to re-level the feet a little bit. There we go. That's about the curve I want. I'm kind of looking to see if there's any flat spots. And this is a piece of, I can't remember if it grows on the coast in California. It's either monkey pod or monkey puzzle. I can't remember which. So I still got a little bit of almost like instead of a curve, it's kind of it's not a concave, it's a convex right in that area. I just need to kind of blend this all down a little bit better. So I'm looking at the horizon just to see how the shape is developing. It looks pretty good. I do have a bit of tear out. It's common for this piece of wood I've been using. You can see it right here. I've got some tear out right there, but I'll clean that up with a scraper here in a moment. So now what I want to do is take this down, just like I did when I was balancing it out. Not too much, just enough to develop a foot on the bottom. Just like that. Maybe take it down just a little bit more. There we go. And then I just want to take this and just kind of blend it all together. Starting all the way at the foot and working my way down all the way to that curve just to see it blend all in. And just a little bit more right here. It looks like it needs to come down just a little bit. Need to bring the wing down a little bit better there. There we go. Let's see how much tear out we've got going on here. Now the shape looks nice. I'm just going to fill it with my hand here. See if it feels nice to my hand. Feels really good. There's no real bump. Need to take a little bit more down this way. It's kind of going uphill right towards the foot there, and I want it a little bit flat. We can take some of that foot down once we get to that part. And that looks better. I can tuck this in there a little bit more and grab me my smaller bowl gouge if I can get it down into that corner here a little bit more. There we go. See if this little smaller bowl gouge will help clean up some of that tear out. Smaller tools are usually good at that. And I'm just going to take it nice. I'm just going to drop the handle. And let me go to the 3 cameras so you guys can see that a little bit. I'm dropping the handle a bit. I'm going to do a shear cut across the face here. And you can see how fine the shavings are that are coming off. That's what I'm looking for. This really helps with doing some tear out. getting rid of it.
Hey, Scott, can you tell us about the angle that you have your bowl gouges ground to and the wing length?
Okay, well, the wing isn't cut back too far. So I've been trying to do millimeters lately. Seems to work better for
Yeah,
me.
it's a lot more accurate.
Yeah.
Easier to manipulate whole integers as opposed to fractions and decimals.
So it looks like it's about 12. The wing is about 12 millimeters back.
Yep,
And
just a little bit
and the
less than a half
bevel
inch.
angle, you want to do inch. Let's see. It's about a half inch. So, and the angle, I usually try to keep my gouges are at about 55 degrees.
Okay. Yep. Likewise. Yeah. So that's about the same profile that I keep on my gouges as well, on my bowl gouges.
I started using that angle years and years and years ago, and I've never changed it because I'm just happy with it.
Very versatile.
Yes, it's a very personal thing. Depends on how you cut your wood. There's a huge thing about, the 40-40 grind and things like that. I tried a 40-40 grind once and I did not like it. They said it's a difficult grind to master, but once you master it, it's great. But I really don't want to have to relearn all that stuff all over again, if you know what I mean. It's just, I'm happy with what I got. So as you can see there,
making beautiful shavings as is. So
yeah, you can see the bevels are pretty much the same right there.
Yep.
Large, small, doesn't matter. So I'm going to use my larger bowl gouge. I'm going to do another shear cut with this, see how well it does. The small one did pretty well, but it was leaving some lines in the wood. It got rid of a lot of the tear out, but it left a lot of tool marks behind. So you can see how fine the shavings are coming off of that. That's what you're looking for when you're doing a shear cut like this. So I need to readjust my tool rest because my tool is hitting right in this area right here, and I don't want that to happen. Sitting right there at that corner because I got my handle dropped so far. And we'll see if that got rid of some of those small tool marks, the smaller tools. Right in this area, I need just a little bit. I'll get rid of them here in a second.
So hey Scott, as you're shear scraping there, are you shear scraping on center or just above center with the tool handle dropped?
It's not. It's actually a good half an inch or so above center.
Yep. Okay.
When I drop my handle, you could do that, but you'd have to drop. Let's see what happens here. You got to drop your tool rest way down to get it on center. Let's see if I can adjust the handle there out of the way. See, now I'm on center. See how that does. We're here just to learn, so let's just play around a little bit. So I'm getting a really nice, a good shaving off of that too. I can see it leaving some lines there, so I'm just going to lightly go back across that. I generally do it. See, it left a pretty good tool mark right there.
Dug in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to raise it back up. I like it a little higher than center, so that's the way I prefer it.
I agree.
But whatever
your arm's not long enough to be able to get the tool handle.
Yeah, you're way down here, bending your knees and squatting, and I find that whatever works for you.
Keep doing it.
I have yet to meet a wood turner who doesn't have their own way of turning wood.
Right.
So I'm just going to power sand that out of there real quick. So I don't want to get rid of those tool marks. So I got the drill already set up. So So when I'm power sanding, I have the wood's coming down, and I have the drill set to where the sandpaper is coming up to meet the wood instead of dragging it down with it, because that'll leave a lot of marks and it could skip and things like that. So you want your sandpaper to rotate up towards the wood, the direction it's coming down. So you can see how it's turning that way. This is 180. This is all I'm going to sand. I'm not going to go crazy with it. This is just a demo piece. So I'm just going to try to get rid of some of those sanding marks. That looks pretty good for a demo piece. We'll leave it at that. So now I'm just going to back up my tailstock here so I can do the recess in the foot. Need to get rid of my, I'll get this out of here, out of my tailstock, because these little points, they hurt when they go into your elbow. Most definitely. So this is held on pretty well with a screw chuck, so it's not going to go anywhere. The only thing that can happen is if the threads strip inside the wood, which doesn't happen too often. So I'm just going to grab that large bowl gouge again, just kind of smooth all this out, and then mark for my recess here. I'm just going to kind of concave it down in there so it doesn't have a flat or a dome. It'll sit on the foot much better that way. I need to drop my tool rest down just a little bit more. Thought I had it on center. Let's just check it before I turn it on. So it's a little bit more. There we go. Let's see what speed I'm at right now. So I'm just at 1,000 right now. I can speed it up. It's pretty well balanced now. This will create a smoother cut if I can speed it up. I'm at about 1,500, 1,600. Well, I'm going to turn it back down. It kind of creeped up on me there. All right. 1,500 RPMs. No need to go crazy with the speed. So I'm just going to kind of work my way in towards the center, going a little bit deeper each time. And just kind of clean that area up. Then I'm going to show you guys a pretty neat beading tool that I recently purchased. It's not your normal beading tool. Kind of like it for making feet.
Nice.
So let me pull this out. Oh, wrong drawer. There we go. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Sorry about that. So I created just a curve right there, kind of a concave going in. As you can see, it's got the foot sitting proud. Probably go a little bit. I'm going to take that down just a little bit. It's a little tall for a foot. We don't need to go really high with one. There we go. That's much better. This will be where the recess is. So I'm not too worried about that. So this is a interesting tool here. Most beading tools, they just have a curve that go in here, and they're one size, you know, and that's the size bead you're gonna get. Well, this one's a little different. It's got a point with two curves on both sides, as you can see there.
Yeah.
And what you can do, I'll leave it on the overhead, but it's probably the best view, is you just bring that point up next to that foot there, and it'll just round that foot over. And then you can just bring it in over here. Round all that over just like that.
Nice.
And let's see if we can. You can see where it just created a nice foot right there. Let's see if I can get a better view here. I can Bring that in. Come on. You see how it rounded everything over?
Yeah.
And so I can just bring my tool back in and grab me my smaller bowl gouge. And I'm just going to use that little spot that cut right there. I'm just going to bring it in just right here. Go a little bit deeper there and just kind of create that curve down in there, a little cove. And I'm just going to backtrack that, just kind of clean it all up. Get rid of that little nubbing out of the way. A little more clean up. And I'm just going to bring my tool back around. I'm going to bring it in this way and just clean that one area up. And then you got yourself a beaded foot right there. Grab me a small piece of sandpaper there just to clean that area up by hand. Turn it down a little too slow. There we go. Just gonna clean that up with some sandpaper real quick. No need the power sand in here. Doing it by hand does a pretty quick job.
Hey Scott, where'd you get that beading tool from?
I got it from Craft Supplies.
Oh, okay.
Now they got different sizes. I got this one is a 1/4 inch. I think they got an 1/8 inch and a 3/8 inch too. I only got the 1/4 inch right now, but I'll probably be buying the other two here real soon. I just wanted to try it out before I spent all the money on a whole set.
Yeah, right.
And I really like it because, you know, with the regular beading tools, it's kind of weird how they work. You can't use it on a beading tool, a regular one on a piece like this to round over stuff like that. Plus, if you wanted to, if you had say you wanted a wider foot, you could put this in there and round one side over and move it over to whatever width you wanted and just round over that other side.
Yeah.
And then you got a large, you know, a large area there with a rounded part on each side. And I touched the point right in there by accident. So let me grab that sandpaper real quick. Clean that off.
Never fails. Only in a
It
demo.
never fails, doesn't it? Hopefully I got it all out. I don't think I touched it too bad. Yeah, it's done. All right, so now I just got a nice foot beaded right there. It looks pretty nice. So I'm just going to round it over a little bit more with sandpaper, the bead here, just to clean it up real quick. Kind of round it over just a little bit more with the sandpaper. There we go. All right. Now it's time to put a mark in the center there for the recess. I've already measured my jaws for the recess. You always want to do that. Plan ahead. You don't want to have to take all this off to measure the jaws and put everything back together again. So I'm just going to use the calipers. Do not put this far into the wood, just the one closest to you. It's pretty obvious why you want to do that. So you don't have, and you want the tool rest as close as you can. Give it some support there. And I know I'm off a little bit here, but I like to work my way out instead of in. That way I'm not, if I started out here, work my way in, I'd have to get rid of all those lines. So you can see I'm a little too big. Oh, I need to raise my tool rest just a little bit. It's just not on center for that particular one. Otherwise, it's not going to measure it right. I'm almost right on there, right there. So I just need to tap it over just a hair. There we go. And I'll mark that with a pencil so you guys can see it a little bit better. All right. So, but I was gifted, or I won actually, a set of carbide tools. And one thing I found they're really good for is making recesses in the bottom of bowls. So this is just the square tip.
Yeah, good to know.
It's better than using I used to use a parting tool all the time, but I always never quite, because of the shape of the parting tool here, you've always got this area. It's going to rub on the bottom of that radius you're making, and it can throw it out a little bit. But because this one is just flat and square and it sits proud of the actual tool, you can just push this right in. I know it sounds a little rough, but that's just the way the tool is. I need to probably drop the tool rest down just a hair. These things need to be dead on center, make them work better.
Do you raise or lower the tool handle, or is it just straight in?
Oh, straight in. You want the tool straight and parallel, just perfectly level. You don't want to drop your handle like this, or it's going to drop it down. These carbide tools are bad for grabbing. Same thing, if you bring it up too much, it's going to grab right in the corner of these square ones right here. And it's just going to yank it. So you just want to go straight in with them. And then for a second here, I'm just going to check my depth, kind of clean that up a little bit. So I got that in there.
Scott, do you undercut that at all? Are you putting it on a dovetail jaws?
Well, right, I'm going to be using Talon jaws, but they do have a ridge on the outside. So I do need to undercut it just a little bit. And that's where this one comes in.
Aha, thank you.
Yep. So I can just bring this on an angle right into here.
Outstanding. Detail carbide.
Yeah, it's a point tool pretty much.
Yep.
This is pretty good for making it. Pretty good for making a dovetail with me. Huh?
He calls that a diamond tool.
Yes. So I'm just going to clean that up right here a little bit. Get rid of those grooves that the diamond tool left behind.
Scott, that's not a diamond. That's a detail gouge. The diamond comes to a sharp point.
Well, I'm not sure what they call it. I just know I won them in a contest, so I'm happy with them.
That one's a detailer. It's got a round nose.
Yeah, they do sell they do sell a pointed one also. So clean that up. Make sure we got a nice flat for the jaws to sit on right there. It looks good. So I'm just going to clean up that recess edge here. All right, now we're going to play a little bit here. Grab me a texturing tool. A couple of them here. Got my Wagner's, my point tool, and my elf tool here. Just to kind of dress it up a little bit on the bottom here. I always like to do that. So let's see if that's going to run on center. Yep. So I need to draw this back just a little bit so the wheel does spin. And I'm just going to bring it up on the outside of that recess a little bit. And just go back and forth with it a little bit. The one thing about these tools, they don't cut the wood, they just put an impression in the wood. So you want to run it a little longer than you think it should.
How fast do you run it?
Well, that was about 600.
Okay.
So this is an elk tool. I'm going to slow it down just about to 400 for this one. And I'm just going to come in the center right here, and I'm going to create like a bit of a little bit of flower effect right in the center here. Now these are carbide tips that come with these, so these do cut the wood. They just got a nice little detail right in the center. Got a line right there, but I'm gonna, I know how to dress that up. So I'm just gonna come in where that line is. I'm just gonna, right on the other side of it here, I'm just gonna create another detail here. So the texturing can help clean up little mistakes there. So I can bring my point tool in. And where that line was, I can just put a nice little, I'm gonna raise my tool rest up a little bit. All these tools should be on center when you use them. It's a little too low. Now this is not your regular point tool. It's a very long, I like to grind this one really long, because all I use it for is to put detail lines next to my texturing. I'm just gonna make sure I don't put the line right in there. Okay, there it is. And then right here. There we go. Got all those taken care of. Put these out of the way so I don't lose the parts. Come on, drawer shut. There we go. I'm gonna grab me some gray Scotch Brite here, and this will kind of help clean up any fuzzies left behind from the texturing. You can see the fuzzies coming off sometimes. I can see it here. I don't know if the camera's picking them up or not, but definitely want to do this to get rid of any straggly type of hairy fuzzies that the texturing might have left behind. Just like that. So that's a little sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that beading tool again. I'm just going to curve that over just ever so much. And this is why I like this thing. Bring that beading tool right up in here. Kind of round this over. Just to give it a little, so it's not so sharp looking. Nice and that way that you don't have to worry about trying to sand that round or anything. So that would be that done. So I could oil it. So let me grab my walnut oil real quick. Pieces. So we're gonna make this pop a little bit here. Grab some paper towels. And hopefully it'll look really nice here. Let me brush some of this sawdust off. And when we turn this over after I finish it, we're gonna do some balancing of the piece and do a little work on the rim, and then we're gonna torch it. So this is a Doctor's wood finishing, walnut finishing oil. You can buy it through Niles Bottle Stoppers from Carl Jacobson. Now this piece of wood is just absorbing the oil like crazy here. This is a kind of a plain wood, but I just like the subtleties of it. how some of the wood grain that comes out. No, not all wood needs to be all fancy and full of pretty grain. There we go. Now I sent an email to all the members of my club here telling them about this tonight and all about this club in general. So hopefully some of them are here. I know Bob Clark is here. He's in our club. He's here pretty much every week though. I'm just hoping some of the other members will join in. All right, I need to get a little touch of oil right in this spot.
I know I've seen some new members pop in that I've admitted the last week, so it's real nice to see them.
Yeah, it might be some of them.
Yep.
All right. So we got a nice oil.
We got a good turnout for you, Scott. We got 83 online right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Glad people can make it. Need some of that oil off of the laid bed. It's not like the oil's going to hurt the laid bed, but I just don't want it slopping around and stuff. So I'm just going to buff it real quick with the paper towel. Get rid of any excess.
Scott, do you know a Casey in your club?
Casey?
Yep.
Yeah, Robert Cornelius, in other words, but Casey, yeah.
Yep.
Is he here?
He's here. Yep.
Ah, okay. That's great. Hello, Casey. Haven't seen you in a while. Missing you at the meetings. All right, so let me pull this one. There we go. Now you can see some of that grain in there. Plus the oil will make the stuff pop.
Yeah.
Where'd that brush go? I have a brush that's gonna clean all that junk out of it. There you are. Sometimes the paper towels leave little bits inside the texturing. So a brush like this is mostly for, washing dishes. If this really gets any paper towel pieces left behind in the texturing out of there. So
yeah, it works great.
There we go.
We also got a new member here by the name of Kelly. So welcome, Kelly.
So we are ready to turn it around. Where are we? 6 o'clock. Ooh, I better get moving.
No, you're doing fine, Scott. No worries.
I know.
Gallery's at a lull tonight. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So I just locked my spindle so I could unscrew this. I apply beeswax to my threads. It makes it a lot easier to take off. Now this is a spacer disc because my bowl is so thin. I didn't want to drill a really deep hole. So this kind of takes the space of that. You can see that maybe kind of in the corner there. Let's see that. Yeah, it's hard to see, but it takes that space up so you don't have to drill such a deep hole in there, and it actually gives an extra support to the piece because it's larger than the jaws are.
Right, it's more torquing area.
Yeah. All right, so I need to remove that screw chuck. We're about ready to get to the exciting part here. I need to turn these down so they'll fit in the. So when I measured my jaws, let's see here. What happened to that one? Oh, well, that wasn't good. Just dropped the locking pin for my spindle there. That is really weird. Where did that go? I'm looking for my. I'm just gonna have to reach over and do this one. There you go. So what I do with my jaws, if I'm doing a recess or any type of even a tenon. I just open them up just a little bit here. It's about right there. Use a little bit of a curve because when they cast these things, they're solid. But when you close them down like this, they're not casted this way. And it's not a perfect circle anymore when it's closed all the way down. You got to open them up a little bit because after they're casted, they take a saw and they cut these. So it leaves a little curve right there. So I always open them up a little bit just like that. And that's where I measure for either a tenon or a recess. There we go. Use my thumb to help support it. Just need to closing the jaws. Now you notice there's several wood turners. See, for some reason, demonstrators, I've seen them do this numerous times, and I've learned my lesson. Is they make the recess first. I don't know why. I did that for several years. And then what happened is you do all this detail on the back, and then you'd have to go and kind of redo the recess again because you took some of that wood away. So I've learned to start doing the recess last and creating a piece with a recess in it.
Hey, Scott, real quick, if you got a chance, can you, or if you want to, you can also balk on it. Can you explain the anatomy of a properly made recess and why recesses typically fail when they're made improperly, which is done by, the majority of new turners?
All right, well, let me grab that sample board here. I wish I the overhead here. There we go.
Well, if I would have known you were doing a recess, I would have gave you forewarning on it.
Okay, so this is a larger recess. I used a larger set of jaws for this. And you could go anywhere from an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch. I kind of go the 1/4 inch deep. This is in between a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 of an inch. It's surprising how well a recess can hold with it being shallow. You would think, oh, I got to go in 1/2 inch to make the recess. That's not so. It's because the
more area for torque.
You've got all this. If you measured right, all your jaws are touching all the way around, and so they're expanding and putting pressure. You don't want to put a whole ton of pressure on it. I mean, you need to snug it up somewhat, but you don't want to where it's going to crack the wood, because if you do crank it down, it can split the wood. And you need a flat area right here. This is where your main support is. This is the flat area where your jaws are going to rest, the top part of your jaws. Let's see if I can grab me So this is the set I used for the sample piece right here. So you can see that it's a little bit bigger, but you definitely want to make this area flat right in here. And this is where a lot of the holding power comes from. This is what keeps your piece from coming out of a recess, because it can take the pressure. When you're applying pressure against the bowl, it's pushing against the face here. That's why you do not want. Sometimes you can make it a little bit like a cove, just a little bit. If you're not sure, you can get it flat. But flat is the best way. You certainly don't want to have a slight dome here, or it's not going to rest right, and you're never going to get it to mount right into the recess. It's either got to be flat or just a little bit of a cove, or going down a little bit deeper from this part to this part. But this is definitely, this is where you get all your support, is from the face of the jaws. Same with the tenon, except the tenon you're squeezing, but the main majority of that support is coming from the face of your jaws. That's why on a tenon you need a flat area just on the outside of it, with a really, really sharp corner from the tenon to the flat. You can't have a little bit of a gap or a little bit of a hill on a tenon. I don't have a piece for a tenon, I don't think. I sure don't. I don't think. Let me see if I got a old piece that has a tenon on it. No, that one's not gonna work. That looks like crap. I can't find anything with a tenon on it. Oh well.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, but so you right on the outer edge of a tenon, you need a sharp corner where the tenon meets the flat. Anything other than that, and it's not going to sit right, and it's going to wobble against the wood. And that wobble is going to cause you a lot of problems. But yeah, with the shallow bowls like this size, recesses are great. I mean, I've done big bowls with recesses before, and you know, you can go back and forth and say, well, the tenon is stronger than a recess and vice versa, but when it comes down to it, it's really what you feel is going to hold the wood the best. There's no tried or true thing saying, you know, you have to have a tenon because the bowl is this big or anything. Certain things, like if you're using a coring system, use a tenon.
Yep.
If you're hollowing, use a tenon. Is for the direction that those tools work. That's where a tenon really shines. Is in tools like that.
I actually use a recess when I'm coring because
Oh,
of
do
the
you?
torque holding power. And
What
so
kind of
after your
coring?
demo, so I use one way. So
Oh,
I'll go
okay.
into, I'll further expand on the anatomy of a recess after your demo.
Okay, because I've got
Great explanation.
I've got a wood cut, which is kind of similar to the one way.
Right.
I mean, I think to me, it's kind of like the cheaper version of the one way. It's how I look at it. So there's some drawbacks to it, of course, but you know, all tools have certain drawbacks compared to great drawbacks.
Right.
So, all right, so let's get going on this. I'm going to eat up all the time if we keep doing this. All right, so let's do the face here. So I'm just gonna, I got it on center. I need to drop it just a little bit. I'm really picky about where my tool rest is. As should most wood turners. And also, you don't want the wing of your tool rest sitting way out here because you're gonna get vibration. And even though it may look like it's welded very well, even on robust, I have seen them break because of all the pressure going down in here. The best place to be turning as much as possible is right over that post. That's where the strength is, right in this area here. The further out you get, the more vibration and the more chance you're going to have a problem. So I try to, with this kind of a thing, I just center the tool post right about in the middle right here. And that way I know I'm getting the best support for this. So, all right. I'm going to turn this up past the sanding speed I had. All right, so I got to turn it down just a little bit. And I just need to pick up quite a bit off of the front here. First thing I want to do though is just get it to solid wood so I can turn the speed up. So I need to back my tool rest up just a little bit. Seems like I'm riding on the bevel a little bit. So I need to pull it out. There we go. Now I'm getting into solid wood. Uh-oh. See what happened? It actually slipped in the recess. The wood started slipping in the recess right there. So apparently I didn't have it tight enough. But you did see, because I had the tool rest that close, it prevented the wood from flying out and knocking me in the head.
Oh, yeah, right.
It just spun. It just spun,
Only in a demo.
and then it just stopped. So apparently I just didn't snug it up quite enough, which can happen.
Another reason why you want to have your tool rest close, not have
Oh,
your
yeah.
tool overhanging it.
Yep. That prevented this from coming off all the way, because it was like right here. So it kind of blocked it from coming out of the recess completely. So I got it pretty well snugged back up. It's running pretty true there. Feels like it. So I'm just going to take a few lighter cuts just to be on the safe side. I think I was taking one heck of a heavy cut down here too. So I'm going to bring my tool rest out back this way, giving me that extra support. I'm almost done with this part. So I can just leave that there where I'm at, because I'm just going to be dishing all that out anyway. So what I want to do is create a slight dome on the rim. So I'm going to grab me a pencil here. Just decide, I'm just going to make the bowl section just a little bit bigger than the foot. And I'm just looking by eye. Because I am embellishing the rim, I want it a little large. So what I want to do is just kind of go in right here. And then kind of come out. And then kind of go back in a little bit and create a curve. Then I'm just going to kind of trim that sharp edge off the side there. So I want the bowl part to sit a little bit proud as far as the edge goes. So I want to bring this in a little bit deeper. I'm going to switch over to, let's see if we can, there we go. That's better. See, this proud area is going to be the lip of the bowl. I'm just going to take this down a little bit more. I just need to turn my tool rest just a little bit. You notice that I try to remember to turn off my lathe whenever I move the tool rest, especially when it's close like this. Very safety thing to do.
I'm so proud.
So I'm going to do another shear cut. So I'm going to drop the handle down. Let's take it across the surface here. Clean up any tool marks. There we go. So that kind of cleaned it up a little bit. So I'm just going to hit it with the sander real quick. Get rid of some of that tear out. And then I'm going to texture it with a Proxxon tool, and then I'm going to scorch it. Doesn't need to be crazy. So I'm going to put the lathe in reverse so I can get up in this area. So I reversed my tool, my drill, so it's going. There we go. So it's going down, the face of it's going down where I'm going to be sanding, and the piece of wood's coming up towards me. If I can get it down in that corner area. You can bring it all the way out as long as you're using this edge of the sandpaper. I probably got rid of enough of that. Yeah, cleaned it up really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring this around, and I'm just gonna clean up the rim here. Kind of round it over a little bit. Got my 5/8 or my 1/2 inch bowl gouge. I'm just gonna bring it in, and I'm just gonna start rubbing the bevel. Bring it down till it starts cutting. Just do a kind of a twist. Almost like making a slight bead. And do the same thing on the other side. Just to soften up that rim a little bit. Then I'm going to bring the wing over. It's going to be 9 o'clock. So it's going to be facing 9 o'clock. Clean that up. Same thing, but I'm going to flip the tool over to 3 o'clock. There we go. And I'm just going to touch it with the sander again. Just this part. Oh, there we go. Oh, must have touched my speed dial. All right, here we go. All right, so now I'm going to do some texturing on here. So I've got a Proxon tool, my overhead. So these blades are like almost like a chainsaw blade. You can't buy them anymore. At least I can't find them anymore. You can still buy the more dangerous ones that actually have chain links, like a chainsaw.
Right.
Which are much more dangerous than this one. But I understand in the UK, at least, that they've actually banned this type of blade. I don't know why. I've never had a bit of trouble with it. I've tried those chainsaw ones, and they just scared the heck out of me. So they grab and they bite, but these don't. They just leave like grooves or whatever you're going to do with it, you know, cutting wood or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the lathe. And I'm just going to kind of bring it across this area here, not all the way up to this bump. I'm just going to grab it. Just enough right here, just to add a little bit of a texture to the rim. And I need to turn the lathe down to about 400. And this way I'm going to turn the speed dial all the way up to high. And what this is going to do is it's going to be almost like your regular texturing tool that you would use on end grain and stuff. But this will make a nice same kind of pattern, but on face grain, which you cannot do with a regular texturing tool. So nice and quiet machine here. And I'm just going to bring the tool rest over to where I can kind of use it as a hand rest here. I'm just going to find the center. Gotta be careful with it. It can be a little grabby.
Scott, can you change camera angles?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
There we go. Let me see if I can do there we go. It's nice. Oh, it grabbed. So I'm not going to use the tool rest anymore. I think it's kind of getting in the way. Oops. That grabbed the lip right there. That's why it jumped. I'm just using my body as support to the tool rest. I might have to clean up just a little bit. Yeah, and you have to grab the tool, the bowl gouge, and kind of gouge it out around the rim right here. So I'm gonna clean that up real quick so you guys can see that pattern that developed. So let me clean that up before I torch it. So 1/2-inch bowl gouge, and so just clean it up real quick, doing a pull cut using the wing of the tool. That happens from time to time. It's easy enough to cut away. See how I did there. So I'm grabbing my larger tool. It'll do a better job of not leaving tool marks behind. You got rid of the divots the tool left behind, but kind of tearing out the wood a little bit. All right, that's better. A little bit right there. A couple more passes, doing the shear cut, dropping the handle. Get rid of that tear out. All right. Well, that's much better. So I'm going to come back around to the back and do the same thing, just to kind of match everything back up. Grab the sander, go over it real quick. There we go. Get it up to speed. It's a little too fast for a sander. All right. All right, now we can torch it. First, I want to make sure I got all the dust away. Okay. I need to, where was that spot? I saw a spot that's kind of, no, this is a practice piece, so I'm not too worried about it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to grab me my air hose, blow off any dust that's on the lathe. I'm going to get it on the top first here. Compressors are great for this. I'm going to get it off the headstock. The reason I'm doing this is I don't want any parts to accidentally land somewhere where they shouldn't. I also have a fire extinguisher over to my side there. That's my tool rest or my compressor kicking in. If you guys can hear that, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's fine.
They'll turn off in a second.
Oh, we can't hear it.
All right. Got my board that's going to cover the bedways. Also got spray bottle of water. Can't be too careful with doing this kind of thing, so I'm going to take off my helmet. I can breathe a little bit. So I do this with the lathe off, of course. But this is just your regular enzymatic propane you can get at the hardware store. Nothing fancy, just the regular tip. You can get nicer tips that, you know, you could, that are better adjustable than this, but I find this one works pretty well for me. So I just turn on the propane all the way up before you start it. And then you can adjust how big of a flame you want afterwards. So I turn it down low first just to see how it's going to react to the wood. There we go. You don't need to have this thing turned up all the way up. See where it's scorching on the outside? I'm going to be turning those parts away. So I'm not too worried about the scorching up here either, because that'll be turned away. It'll be creating a border to make the scorched area stand out a little bit more. It's good to have ventilation going in your shop too. You want your doors open. I do, and I also have a fan blowing the smoke out of my shop. So the texturing is going to kind of disappear with all the flames, but that's all right. Because that colored wax is what's going to fill in those areas. It's really going to make it pop. You just want to make sure you get pretty much as black as you can get it. Just go around and check it. Make sure you got pretty good black area. Sometimes the grain doesn't char as much on one area than it does the other. So it's good to go back around a couple times. All right, I think that's enough. All right, so I'm gonna let it cool off for just a second. You don't need to spray it water or anything. It's touchable. It's not super hot or anything like that. Dust anything off my hands that got on there. Let me grab that green brush again. Since I need to get all this brush, I buy these like 3 or 4 at a time. Because what I can wash most of this off, but what you want to do is you need to get all the soot. You can see it coming off that burn area before you spray it with any sanding sealer like I like to do. You need to seal this with something, of course, so every time you pick it up, you're gonna get ash on your hands. So sanding sealer is the best thing I have found for this. Also rubbing it like this, yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you use a brass wire brush?
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not too coarse.
No.
Okay.
You just don't want to be heavy-handed with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it works just fine. I mean, it's textured, so any scratches that list behind, it's not really going to show up in the texturing. So.
Okay.
This is what I just have in my shop today. I think my brass brushes for, those brass welding brushes is what I use. I got them put away in a drawer someplace, but this one was out, so this is why I grabbed it.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to check on that.
Yeah, this one works just as well.
Okay.
That's a good question. So I can feel the texture still there. It's just hard to see it, except when I, bend down and kind of get a different glance at the wood. So I need to blow off.
We can see it. We can see the texture coming through.
Okay.
Yep.
I need to
start popping once you put a sealer on there.
Oh yeah. You just want to blow off any residue. Before you spray any sanding sealer. Oh, what time? Oh man, sorry man. I didn't think it's gonna take this long. Hope you guys are liking the demo.
I believe so. We've still got 81 people on here.
Oh, that's great. I know back east is getting late, so.
But We got 30
I'm in
minutes.
California, so for me, it's only 6:30. It's not.
Right. Got 30 minutes, Scott.
All right.
You started the demo with 82 people.
Oh, well, so then, oh, I lost another one. 80 now. Oh, well, I know it's getting late back east, so that's understandable. All right, so I'm just going to do it real quick.
Gained one. We
Oh.
just gained that one that we lost. You're good. Still at 81.
Some people pop
be a
out and then
record.
pop right back in, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, so I got this good and shaken up. This is depth lacquer sealer. I can't buy it at the stores here in California anymore, but I found an outfit that will send it to me through Amazon.
Nice.
So I can still get it. Thank goodness.
A little bit of Judas Priest going on. Breaking the law.
So because the piece is still warm, it's going to dry this off really quick. So I'm about 10 inches away from the wood. Just, you don't want to be up against it and causing drips and that kind of stuff. Just go over it a couple times. I'm just going to turn on the lathe to help speed things up, and not super fast. It's going to splatter everywhere. But because the wood is still warm, it'll actually dry it off and absorb it into the wood faster. That's because of also because of the open grain that the burning did. It really gets down inside the wood fibers. Now I got to ask you guys, I'm going to let you guys choose. I'm going to put two colors on the texturing. So I'm going to put the overhead on. So I've got a base color would be either gold or silver. And over that, I would put purple or blue or green.
Gold and purple.
What? Gold and purple?
I second that. Gold and purple sounds great.
Gold and purple.
Yeah, works
Go
for
with
me.
Gold and purple. Yeah.
You got it.
Let's do Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so I'll put these over to the side for right this second here. Just make sure this is all nice and dry. All nice and dry to my hands. I'm rubbing it. Nothing coming off, no soot. See that? Clean hands. That's a good good coverage of the sanding sealer. So for the first coat, you always want to put the shiniest. So I'll put the gold on first. It's getting a little dry, but it'll still work. I need to.
So are you putting this on? Are you putting this on top, Scott? Or are you putting it in the texture, inside the texturing?
Oh, I'm just gonna get a paper towel and just rub it in there into the texturing.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So we're just gonna get a good blob of this going here. Not too much. You don't want to be too heavy-handed with it. You don't want to overfill everything, but
change your camera. Change your camera.
You got it. There we go.
Please works. Awesome.
I gotta put a little bit more on that paper towel. It doesn't seem to be going to the texture. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And we'll come back with a clean paper towel and take off the excess here. So you just want to be a bit liberal with applying this into the texture. Give it a good look, make sure it's nice and even all the way around. I think I need to get some new gold. It's kind of lost its luster a little bit. I've had this can for like 2 years. And sometimes when it gets hot in my shop, sometimes I forget to take it into my house where it's nice and cool. And I think I did that. It got really hot here like in the last week, last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, it was like 100. It got really warm in my shop. I'm wondering if that affected my wax.
I know a guy. I'm told that you can revitalize seemingly dried out wax with a little bit of denatured alcohol, which is another thing you might not be able to get over the counter in California anymore.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I got a guy. I got a guy. I could buy.
You talk about moonshine.
I can buy it by the gallon from this guy.
In a mason jar?
Nope, not that kind. All right.
It
So
wouldn't
let
be
me grab
Jeff
a-
Arnold
Yeah.
by anything. Wouldn't be
Grab me
a
a-
walnut log, would it?
Nope. All right, so I want to get some of that wax off my fingers, and I'm just going to rub this out. It'll shine this up too, because this is a wax. You can see it's taking the excess off of the paper right there. So you want to continuously turn your paper towel. Otherwise, you're just going to be reapplying what the paper towel took off. So you want to continuously turn to a clean area. So this is going to be subtle. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, look at the bright colors. This is just kind of subtle things to keep the, so you can see it in there. Yeah, right in there. So let's put some of that purple on there real quick. I'll start moving a little bit faster here so I can get the center cut out. Now that really dried out. My purple really hit it big. So yeah, it's still soft though. It's not crumbly, so that's a good thing. Gotta get down in it though. All right, let's get that in there. So this will really show up. So you can see it already. So the gold is just sort of like a background color to the main color, which is the purple. You just want to kind of use the pads of your fingers to push it in. You don't want to use the tips of your fingers, or it can leave actual lines in the wax. I put a whole bunch on there that time, so I'm just going to spread that around a bit. Make sure I got a good coat that going on. No. All right, so I want to buff it before it starts drying up. Get it down in that texture right there. Grab me a clean paper towel. Get some of that purple wax off my fingertips so I don't put it back on the piece. All right, so let's buff this up. So I'm going to turn it up a bit. Give it good buffing. Well, it's taking off a lot. I put a lot of extra on this. Turn it down just a little bit there. So it's getting a little bit cleaner. Yeah, you just want to keep going at it until pretty much no more wax comes off. Now with this kind of wax, this Hampshire sheen wax, colored wax, a fellow by the name of Martin Saban Smith in the UK makes it and sells it. And it can be used just as is as a finish. You don't need to overcoat it with anything, but you can. You do not want to use oil. Oil will remove wax off of a piece. It's like an eraser. So if you don't like how a piece is looking, as far as the color wax goes, you can use oil, like walnut oil, finish oil, or anything like that. It'll take the wax right off. You got to do it before it actually dries too much. But so we got a lot of purple. Let's stop. There we go. And it's got some hint of gold in there. I don't know how well that's coming through. It's got a nice shine polish to it. Feels really nice and slick. So we're good with that. Texture is pretty well full. I don't think it would take another color, but I don't want to go crazy with it. So let me get stuff out of the way. So you can turn the inside, safety board, water bottle. Put my safety helmet back on. Now we're gonna turn the inside and clean up this part. And here, I'm just gonna use a parting tool to create a border in those areas. And turn out the inside first though. Get a little bit closer. There we go. And where's my large one? All right, 5/8. Make sure it's not going to bump into my tail center. So I need to go change my handle here. Put the shorter handle on because it's bumping into my tail center. If I move my headstock back, I would have to readjust my cameras. All right. Now I got these are Vic Mark handles. And they come with a bushing that you can put on your tools. Pretty nifty. Just give it a twist. Oh, it's kind of stuck. Come on, loosen up. It's good to get that tight. But want to make sure the bushing was all the way down. There we go. Which tool is this? It's my 5/8 or nope. I put the wrong tool in the handle. That's my U-shaped handle. My U-shaped tool. There we go. There's the 5/8. Now I won't run into my tail center at the end here. So I'm just going to start my tool at 9 and turn it all the way over to where the flute is facing away from me and gently ease it in. And then I'm going to open up the flute a little bit and just push forward into the piece. I think my tool is getting a little dull, so I think I'm going to have to get another one here. I'll grab my 1/2 inch and see how that does. Let me see. I got a little bit dull there, I think. See how this does. That's much better. You gotta remember, this is a shallow bowl, so you don't want to go crazy going to the depth really quickly. I think my tool rest might be out of adjustment here. Yeah, I need to drop it just a little bit, I think. There we go. So one reason why I like the 55-degree bevel also is just because I can start at the rim and go all the way to the center. I don't need to switch tools like you would on a 40-40 grind. See, I'm running into some odd grain in the wood there, right in this area here. Yeah, I think that's what that is, right there. All right, well, let's see what this will do. Sometimes I like to play with it. This is a round tip carbide tool. Sometimes they're really good for doing bowls. So let's see how this does. Really nice and smooth. So you can see I'm not, when I get towards the middle, I'm not really going that much deeper. I just want to get out to the size of the rim first before I go any deeper. So this carbide tip did a really good job of this. You can go both directions with it. And I'm just going to check the depth using my thumb here. Put it up on the rim. I really don't want to go any deeper. I'm going to go through the bottom. Just got to remember there's a recess in there. So I'm going to grab me my, where are you? I had it out. Where the heck did I put it? It's not on my rack. Oh, there you are. This is a what they call a French curve bowl scraper. I'm just going to use it to clean up the inside there. Because as much as carbide tools do cut, they are scrapers and they do leave a heck of a tear out behind sometimes. So I need to raise up my tool rest just a little bit more for the scraper. So what you want to do is raise the back of the handle and have the cutting part on the edge. That prevents any catches. And it engages the burr that's on the edge of the bowl, or the bowl scraper. Let's see how much of that tear out went away. It still has some in there, darn it. But we are running out of time. I realize that. So I'm just going to go a little more swipe here. And I'll probably clean this up at a later time because the good thing about having a recess is you can remount it. So what I want to do is just I'm going to clean up that area there. Where are you here? Just going to kind of lighten that up and cut some of that purple away. And it'll help round this over. And bring my tool, my scraper back in, just kind of clean this spot up. And sand the rest of that color off.
Looking good, Scott.
Thank you. I didn't realize it was going to take this long, but
Well, no, a lot of information was covered in this demo. I think this is one of our premium grades that we'll have to
Oh, I tried.
prioritize somewhere.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to be demonstrating at SWAT this year.
Oh,
So that should be
congrats.
fun. And that's going to be the
Yeah.
first time I've ever been there.
There you go.
All right, so what I want to do is grab my parting tool and I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to create a white border right in here. So I'm going to take some of that lip away gently. Just to kind of highlight that texturing there. And I'm going to bring my rest a little bit closer here. And I'll probably see how this works here. Use my round carbide tool here, just kind of clean this area up. This helps create like a border around the texture and the color. And I'll probably finish that up with my tool thing here. And just to make that line just a little bit sharper, I'm going to use my parting tool. And, all right, so what I would do now is just get rid of the rest of that purple. And I would just sand it. I clean this up a bit more in there, and I would sand it, and I would spray it again with sanding sealer. And for the inside of the bowl, I might spray an acrylic in there, but I want to spray. I don't know, that kind of got dust all over everything. Let me get my air hose here. So you can see it needs a little bit of cleanup right in here. I'd probably get my scraper and clean this up a bit more, maybe with a gouge. Then I apply a whole new coat of sanding sealer inside and out on this bowl. And then I would use, it's a high gloss. This is a high gloss wax, finishing wax. And I would just use this on the inside of the bowl, not out here, because this already got wax on it. So you don't need to do that. But if you, what I would do is I got a can of I mixed my own shellac-based sanding sealer if I can apply by hand, and that's what I would do inside the bowl. I wouldn't use the spray on this. I would just use the wax or the sanding sealer, just do it on the inside, because this kind of wax needs to be sealed before you apply it to make it nice and shiny and glossy. This stuff is really excellent. You put a couple coats on and it just glows. So, all right. Well, I know
Looks
I went
great,
a little bit
Scott.
long, but
No worries.
any other
That was a
questions
great
before
demo.
we?
Great demo,
Thank
Scott.
Great
Thank
demo.
Any questions before I?
Yeah, I got a question about those colors. Do those colors stay intact?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Once
They're
you
like
put those colored waxes on, I'm sure that you burned it so that it would take the wax. And
well, you could apply. What I've done too is I've just let me take this off here. If I wanted to have done that, but I didn't take the time to do it. See this texture I put on the inside, on the bottom here. I got like black wax or dark colored wax, and I could just fill this in here while it's still turned around this way, and just buff off the excess, and it would just highlight this texture like crazy. So you don't need to burn it or anything to apply the wax.
so, but that's the last stage of that finish right there. Those two waxes, that's the last thing that you have to do.
Yep, on this part, yeah. They're a finish all by themselves, sure.
And that doesn't wear off after any amount of time. I mean,
well, it depends on how much I've made a few, like 3-4 years ago, using the same wax, and we use it all the time, and it hasn't worn off yet. It's a mixture of carnauba wax and microcillian wax, or however you say it, with the color pigments added to it.
Microcrystalline.
That's it. Yeah. So it's pretty tough wax. Yeah.
Looks great.
But you can see
Not your
it shimmers of
typical
gold. If I would have just put the purple on, it wouldn't have that too much of that gloss. It'd be more like a luster. It wouldn't be a high gloss like it is. That's what the gold did. That's what's giving that really big shine. It's that gold that I applied to it.
Yes. Artificial curl you made there.
Yeah, so I'll work on it this week, and I'll show you guys when it's finished what I did to it at the
Okay,
next
sounds
meeting,
good.
so you guys can see how it looks when it's all done. So
Nice job,
Ending.
Scott.
you're quite welcome. Sorry it took most of the meeting, but
No, it's quite all right. Excellent demonstration. So
thank you.
right, well-
Sometimes I can get going and get kind of carried away. So
no, that's fine. And I get a little carried away when I see something that I think should be explained, for a refresher and or something enlightening for the rest of the group. So
oh yeah.
I think I think you did an excellent job. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I hope you guys all liked it.
Yeah, Scott,
All right, guys.
Arnie Johansson
So
from Bakerfield, Scott.
Very good job, Jim.
So we got a few minutes left, folks. We got a couple gallery items, and we'll try to get you out of here at the top of the hour. So let's go to Mr. Duxbury.
Yes.
Jim, you still here? Jim. He must have boogered out. All right, let's try Dan Smith. Dan, you still here? There he is. Dan, you still there?
Yo, Dan. No, Dan.
Yeah, he must have boogered out. All right, let's go to Birdhouse Bob. Bob, you still here?
No, he left.
No, Bob just left.
Oh, yeah, he just said goodnight. Yeah.
Okay, how about Ray Davis? It's still early for Ray. I know he's got something fabulous to share. Hey, Ray. You're muted.
Yeah, okay, I'm here.
I got you.
All right, well, I got one. I just finished.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
Holy
that.
cow.
Right? Ray, you
Well,
just keep one up
took
on
me about
yourself.
3 weeks to finish, but I finished yesterday.
What a beautiful
That
piece.
is beautiful.
Yes,
Right?
A little extra inside.
Oh my goodness. Ray.
Man, oh man.
Wow.
What's the dimensions on that, Ray?
It's not 12 and a quarter across and 5 1/4 tall. There's
Wow.
1,460 pieces in it.
Are you still sane?
Have mercy.
No, they had to send me off to give me
It looks beautiful, man, but I don't know that I'd have the time to to do that. The sanity. That's beautiful, man.
It's 48 segments in each ring.
Oh
There's
wow.
31 rings in it. So
Wow. Wow. What's the thickness of the rings?
it's got Wingay in it, maple, yellow heart, and grandioli, I believe it's called, or something like that. I think it's kind of like a rosewood. That's the brown in it, you see.
Oh, outstanding.
Pieces
This
like
is always
it-
beautiful. I know
Yeah,
we're
it's-
always in for a treat when I see your name pop in. I always look forward to seeing your pieces. That's just
Well, I can't
fantastic.
do this every week, so.
Well, I know, understandable. It's a beautiful piece. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Pieces like that tempt me to put my lathes up for sale.
Yeah, I know, right, Billy?
Well, sometimes you get a little bored doing it, but sometimes it's relaxing too, because I'll only put 2 or 3 rows on a day, and that's about enough. One other thing I wanted to say is I have the saw stop, and I bought it basically because I do this, and I use a wedgie sled, and my fingers are awful close to that blade sometimes to get these small pieces cut. And that was the main reason that I bought the saw stop. And thank goodness I haven't touched it yet, but there's times I really have to stay focused when I'm cutting.
Yeah.
Because my fingers sometimes are about 1/4 of an inch from that blade. And so you got to be really careful.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Ouch. Just that's mesmerizing. All right, thanks, Ray. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Super.
Hey, Doug.
Hey,
I couldn't
guys.
find your other one, so.
Well, the other one, I took it offline, so this is the right one.
Oh, that explains it. All right.
Yeah. Did my hashtag week project. The conditions were something smaller than 8 inches and texture. The texture was the big part. So back to the pine. Got 2 sections of texture there in the center and the kind of in the middle. Those are the same waxes that Scott was just using, the the Hampshire sheen embellishing waxes. Just go on super nice, come off, you know, they do what they're supposed to do. I've got about 4 coats of lacquer on there at this point. Just one good one on the back, so it's not ready. It's not completely finished. The inside is getting pretty close.
Very
That's
pretty.
it. That's the only piece
Very
I've
nice,
been able
Doug.
to do all week, and I did that on a live, so it's on YouTube even now.
It's
Not
beautiful.
quite finished on YouTube, but it's you all are the
Right.
first to see the finished product.
That's good. Thanks, Doug.
Nice corners.
Thank you all. Thank you. Yes, they're good and sharp.
All right, let's go to Alamo City. What's the wild man got here?
Okay, let me share the screen.
Billy Burt, for those that don't know him.
See if I can do this right.
Oh, there
Okay.
you go.
These are the 2 ones that I finished this morning that the customer picked up. I forgot I had these pictures on here.
I see a duck beak.
I
Yeah, right there. See that duck?
Yeah.
I added something a little extra that I haven't been adding to my wands. I just had the idea. I call them power stones. This is a small red jewel that I epoxied in, and I used a green one over here in this bigger hole.
Nice.
Anyway,
Right on.
that's pretty much it. I just wanted to throw those up if anybody wanted to see them.
No, that's great.
I like the addition of the stones.
Thank you.
You said they're on YouTube?
They will be.
Oh, they will.
It'll be a single video of me doing both of them. I just finished it. Yeah, I just finished editing it this afternoon and exporting it, so I'll be loading it up for this weekend.
Cool. I'll be looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, put a link to it on the group page, Billy.
I will. And I made a note. I said in the chat earlier, I did record my demo from a couple of weeks ago, but y'all were having, and I'm glad I thought to do it because
Yes.
of the audio and lagging problems. When I put it up on YouTube, I'll let you know because when it's going straight to my PC, so there won't be any lag or audio issues there.
Yeah, there was a little bit
won't-
of chatter on that, you know, folks that were really interested in what you did on that demo. So that'd be great.
Yeah, it won't have, the only thing it won't have is y'all's comments and questions and feedback. 'Cause my computer didn't record that, but
yeah,
that's okay.
No worries. Cool. That'll work. Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
My pleasure.
All
Thank you.
right. Well, it is the top of the hour, unless there's somebody that's got something they would like to show.
It got dark out.
And the meeting is officially over. We've got about 49 members on. Everybody needs to have their, you know, thinking cap and thoughts and prayers and everything for Eddie.
Yep.
He's having a rough go at it, folks.
Do we know what happened? I mean, is it just continuation of his?
It's just to continue, you know, it's Agent Orange, you know, it's debilitating and it's not going to stop, unfortunately.
Yep.
It's just a horrible thing, you know, so it's just not the same without him, you know. Regardless, you know, we'll carry on doing the meetings, you know, regardless of anything. But you know, just, you know, take a little moment, you know, think about Eddie, you know, throughout the day, you know, whatever you're doing, think about, you know, how many people he's inspired for wood turning. You know, even those that already knew how to turn, you know, and went and watched what he did and then took what he did and incorporated into their own repertoire. So everybody think about it.
Night without him.
Right.
Thanks.
Anybody else has anything to say about that, that would be a really great time.
We missed you tonight, Eddie.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yep.
I
And
always
Appreciate all you
Eddie,
do for us.
he'll be watching it back. So.
him and talking and making jokes, and he just a wonderful MC. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
thoughtful.
there's no replacement. Yeah, there's no replacement for him. That's for sure.
Very true.
I'm still surprised how, I mean, folks are being more internationally known all the time. And I'm amazed at how many people from various countries have watched Captain Eddie at some point or another.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah, there's only one captain. You've got, you got your Mahoney's, you got your Stuart Baddies, you got Stu's daddy, then you got the clones, the hardwoods and the various other so-called famous turners. I don't think there's anyone as famous as what Captain Eddie is.
Yep.
Yep.
There's probably not one person on here that has not learned something from that man.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No
And if
question.
they haven't, they're thick-headed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
It's impossible,
Yep.
That's one of them. Bless your hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Oh, yeah, exactly. And of course that falls on a lot of deaf ears today because, they think "bless your heart" is a compliment.
They're not from the South.
No,
Yeah,
y'all
right.
ain't from around here, are you?
Exactly. You didn't grow up. In Appalachia or in the South. Yeah, that's for sure.
Mhm.
All the
Mhm.
chuckling faces when they when this is going on. Cute, really cute.
All right, so there, so I brought up the anatomy of a recess, and Scott expanded on. Let me highlight myself here, so I can look weird looking at myself. So Scott highlighted, the whole, the torquing power is coming from the ring of the chuck jaws, and so that's part of the holding power. But what people run into, why people run into failures, is because they make the recess improperly. So typically, you see recesses that are made like this, where the recess is expanding or coming over the top of the vessel. Use a pen here instead of my big mitts. And so you got your ring here, and then your chuck is coming in here and holding against that ring. And then so when you expand, all you've got it's expanding against is that ring. And if you expand too much into that recess, it's gonna blow up on you. Or you get a catch, you go too heavy with your cut. That's the reason why it's going to fail. So that's backwards to me. I don't know if y'all can read that or not.
Yep.
Yeah, we can read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've got my little arrows showing, that's where the pressure is going. It's going against those rings. Now, a properly made recess is cut to where those jaws come into that recess, and it's expanding out into the walls of the vessel.
Hmm.
And you will not blow up a recess if you have it made like this, because the jaws are expanding. All that pressure is going into the walls of the vessel, not out here
I've never.
Has a whole lot more wood
Right.
to push against, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
it's solid. It's solid. You don't have a 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch ring. And anytime you see anybody online talking about, yeah, I had a, oh, well, no wonder you had a recess. That's why it blew up. You know, the recess is just as strong, if not stronger, than a tenon. I'll attest that that a properly made recess is stronger than a tenon because it's not going to break. The tenon out here, they will snap right off, especially on straight hard grain woods. And I'm sure everybody has had a tenon fail on at one point or another, and that's the reason why. But that's that's how you make a proper recess.
Thanks, Dane. Didn't know about that.
What about the angle too? When I first
Oh
started,
yeah,
about everything
well yeah,
I
exactly.
turned,
Yeah, exactly.
came off because I wasn't angling it.
Right.
All the videos I was watching was making them straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think all the old chucks all had anywhere from a 5-degree to a 7-degree dovetail on the chuck jaws. I know Nova, the new chucks, and y'all can correct me if I'm misstating this. The new Nova chucks don't have a recess or have a dovetail on them. And I don't think One Way has a dovetail on it. Vic Mark still has a dovetail on it.
I got a G2 and a Nova 2, but they're quite old, I guess you'd say, three, four, at least 3 years old. And I've still got the dovetail on them, but I don't know about the new ones on Nova. Okay.
Well, I know with the One Way, you can get either with a dovetail or without the dovetail.
Okay.
Nova also sells a tool for cutting that dovetail at exactly their angle.
Yep.
I think I'm just a brand new member. I'm definitely in no way any kind of wood turner or gallery, but I just wanted to show 2 pieces to you guys since everybody else has already gone.
Sure. Who is this?
My name's Kelly, and I'm in the Central Texas.
Oh, okay. Okay. I needed your name so I can spotlight you.
So,
hi, Kelly. Welcome. You're a new member.
I got fuzziness. I don't know what that is. Bad video or something. Anyway, so this one is a piece that I turned.
It's cool.
I don't know. Is it real fuzzy on your end? Because it looks fuzzy on mine.
It is, but that's all right.
I
That
wonder
piece
what
is
that's
still
from.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is a maple and pecan. The pecans on the bottom, and then this little top insert right here. And it's a flat bud base. And I turned this with Gary Roberts, and I'm sure you guys have heard that name before. He's he's the founder of the Central Texas Wood Turners, and also one of the first 16 founders of SWAT. Anyway, it's just basically a round, flat bud vase.
It's
And
not just a vase.
I like it.
That is a beautiful vase.
I put a brass dowel right inside here to kind of strengthen that up a little bit.
I was getting ready to ask you if that's what you did. Yep.
And you can't really see, but if you see, there's a little bit of an embellishment on each side, like that little curved line. And
okay.
But that was one of the pieces I wanted to show you guys, since everybody else is gone and can't laugh.
No, no worries. Yeah, you got to step in and get your toes wet, right?
All right. This is a piece that it's just a basic bowl, but I'm real proud of it. It's pretty big.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
And anyway,
Nice.
this is it's like so fuzzy. I can't understand what, but it's salted sweet gum. And I know any of you guys have been to SWAT. This is what Gary Rock had last year at SWAT, and it was the story's kind of funny. But this piece, this blank, I guess I could get a tape measure and see how quite big this is. It's pretty big. I got a big head, so kind of see how big it is from my
Hold
head.
that up for a minute again. Hold that up.
But anyway, this is one of those bulbs.
You need to mention that you won the lathe last year.
Oh, shush. Who said that?
That's me, Clint.
Official meeting.
Nice.
I won the robust American Beauty in that drawing. So that was pretty
Oh wow! No
Congratulations.
kidding, you won that.
That's
Oh
a
my
little
God.
that's a little life changing, huh? But
Yes.
so anyway, this bowl blank that Gary had on the lathe, as we're turning it, I hit a nail, and so we spent a little while, kind of drilling and digging on the, to get to that nail, and we were having a hard time getting it out. So I got to cranking real hard on the drill bit that he had, and I broke the drill bit in there too. And he said, "Oh shit, I'm done." And but I went over to Tim's booth, and Tim gave me a drill bit that matched the drill bit that Gary had broke, and so I brought it over there to Gary, and I took this bowl blank with me. Well, when I got home, that ended up being about a 9.5-inch nail that had gone all the way through.
Wow.
And you can kind of see on this side where that nail came through on this side, all the way through the blank from the surface of the blank. But it wasn't just one nail, it was 3 altogether that I came across whenever I was turning this bowl. And so you can see inside the 3 lines where the nail had gone all the way through this way to the bowl. Anyway, I went and bought a set of drill bits, and I mailed Gary a brand new set of drill bits, and then on the side, an additional drill bit that was the exact same size as the one that I'd broken, and then I nailed all 3 of those nails. And so that was pretty cool. Anyway, this is one of those bowls that wouldn't matter how much someone offered me for, I wouldn't take,
Right.
Yeah, right.
You see the puppy dog?
Yeah, just
Puppy dog head inside that?
Oh, no.
dog head.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get all
That
that.
nail hole, that nail hole looks like his nose.
Oh, come
Brenda
on.
always sees a critter and it's everybody's wood turning.
Yeah,
But
Oh, I love that.
I think we're crazy. So we identify prehistoric animals and all kinds of stuff in our turnings.
I mean, it's a pretty
Yes.
cool bowl all by itself, because I don't know if you can see it. That
Yes.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, the grain is crazy, yeah.
Perfect
those- are
popcorn
those-
bowl.
Are those grays and blues in there?
It's got grays, blues.
Okay.
I wish I had
Yeah, I've
something that
never
would keep that
worked
fuzziness
with
go away.
sweet
Oh,
gum
that's-
before. That's some interesting wood.
Yeah, it's just it's radical. I mean, the spalting is amazing.
Yeah. What'd you finish it with
Yeah.
there, Kelly?
This one right here, I think I might have used. Let me.
And boy, I'm so glad earlier during the program. I'm so
Cortland
glad
Hunt.
earlier during the program I didn't call you a girl when I welcomed you.
Cortland,
I
Cortland
started
Hunt.
to, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, don't do that.
I don't know if you guys know Cortland Hunt or not, but he was our president a few years ago, and
No.
Gary Beers is now. But Cortland Hunt, he makes a pumice and kind of starter roughing sander, like a grit, and then
like an
he's
axe.
got a finishing paste as well that he makes at home. So a lot of us buy some of those products, and then I think that the final finish on it was the paste wax, the Mahoney's paste wax or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, right on.
Hey, I know Cortland. He used to live here. He was a friend of mine.
Yeah, Cortland's great. I guess I'll be seeing you doing a demo at SWAT this year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know Cortland from years ago before he moved to Texas. He used to live here in Visalia, California, and we were in the same club together.
Yeah, he's great. He actually works right down the street here. I'm a contractor, so I'm constantly in Home Depot. He works at the Home Depot that I'm constantly at, and he lives real close to me, right over here in Hutto, and I live in Pflugerville.
Oh yeah. Hey, tell him Scott Hampton said hello if you see him.
I definitely will, or I'll just call him in a minute or shoot him a text or something.
Tell him to join the group.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He'd be great in this group.
I'm pretty sure some of us have to be in this group. I wouldn't understand why not.
Hey, I got a question about the embellishing wax, guys,
Yeah.
that Scott just used. I went on Amazon and typed in Hampshire Sheen embellishing wax, and all I'm seeing is metallic and silver.
Okay, you need to either go to the, what is it, walnut, what is it? Walnut log?
Walnut log.
Well,
Walnut
but I found that Wood World of Texas has a much bigger supply and a bigger selection.
Wood World in Texas does have a lot of it.
Yeah, they have a lot of Hampshire Sheen products, almost every kind, actually, almost every product that Martin puts out. They're one of his USA dealers. So he's on.
To be honest, you can make your own from stuff at Rockler, because they have the abrasive powder. You can get oil and beeswax to make your own.
Clint,
There's
what are you
ratios.
saying? Clint, are you
Anyone
saying to
knows the
take some oil
ratios.
and beeswax and mix a pigment in it? That's it?
It's more than that. The kind he makes.
9.
My microphone.
Oh, we lost you, Scott.
Oh, my microphone fell on the floor. Hold on a second.
Okay, we got you now.
Yeah. So I'm not. He said there's carnauba wax in his. I know that.
Yep, there is.
That's why you can use it as a. It's a really hard wax he has inside this one, because that's why you could use it as a finishing wax. It's a really tough wax. It's real. Beeswax.
Beeswax is too soft. It'll rub right off with your fingers. After
You touch it with your fingers and it melts.
If you stare at beeswax too long, it falls off.
So yeah, I'm rubbing this stuff and it's not leaving anything. I can't see fingerprints, nothing in it.
Right.
So yeah, it's got a really tough carnauba wax, a really high sheen, and and that high gloss wax I was telling you about, the one he sells as a final finish. This one is completely food and toxic safe.
Yeah,
There's no toxicity in it. It's completely food safe. So
they're guaranteed to make you go to the bathroom for a week if you just sit down with a spoon and eat it. So.
Now, I agree with you totally, Scott. That is the best wax out there. I have a shelf of all kind of waxes, but his Hampshire Sheen is the best one out there. Except for if you've got any little pores or stuff, it'll dry in there and leave white spots. And you got to brush them out with a toothbrush or something. And sometimes you don't even get it out. But I agree, it's the best there is out there.
I was fortunate enough to buy one of the last cans of his original. He doesn't make it anymore.
He doesn't?
No, he had an original luster. Well, he came out with luster. That was his first wax. And then he came out with the high gloss. So he had original luster and high gloss. And he said high gloss was completely outselling the regular luster. So he stopped making it.
Yeah, I think I bought his last can of gloss at what?
I bought
real late.
I bought the last can that Wood World of Texas was ever going to have. So
yeah.
I'm on their website now.
It's sold out.
I'm on the Wood World website now. A can of that is regular $25.
Yeah.
Sale or whatever for $12.99 right now.
It'll last forever. It's great.
High gloss can? Is that what you're looking at?
The what?
The high gloss? Yeah.
I don't know. It just says Hampshire Sheen wax.
Well, he's got different products, so it should say high gloss paste wax.
I'll be back. If I lose contact, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything that says gloss. And I only seen like $3 or 3 colors. Okay, here's the last one you had, the high gloss paste wax.
Uh-huh.
That's the one that you said that you finished with. Is that what you used, you said?
Yeah, the high gloss.
Yeah, that was regular $25. It's $19.99 now.
That's not bad price at all.
Not at
Portland
all.
just texted me back and said, hi back to you. Scott.
Yeah.
Portland just texted back and says, hi back to you.
Oh, great.
Again, I'm only seeing like 3 or 4 colors. You got
let's see.
purple,
Oh, no.
blue, black, gold, white,
White,
bronze, hot pink.
Hampshire Sheen.
Yeah, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6, 7, 8. That's all the colors he makes. 8 colors.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sale they got going there. I'm gonna have to buy mine right now.
There you go.
The colored waxes are half off.
Oh, what website? Which one?
I'm on the Wood
World of Texas.
Yeah, Wood World of Texas.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now too, Brenda. And yeah, it's $12.99 for the colored waxes.
That guy who's a sales rep that goes to SWAT, it might be his company. He's a really nice dude.
Yeah, well, the person that makes these, his name is Martin Saban Smith out of.
No, he did a demo. He did a demo there last year.
Yeah, he's going to be there again. He's going to be there again this year, but he's not giving a demo. He's just going to be in the Wood World of Texas booth doing demos.
Oh, okay,
So,
cool. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, he's going to be on the trade show floor, but he's not giving the actual demo.
That's cool.
Finally, him and me have been friends online or, on Zoom and everything for years. So I finally get to meet him in person.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I've been watching.
I always liked his demos too.
He's been putting out YouTube videos for over 10 years.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of them.
But now he came out with all these different products. He's got like water-based, what he calls it, intrinsic dyes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. They have Hampshire Sheen intrinsic dyes.
Yeah, they're water-based, not alcohol-based.
Okay.
Yeah, man, this company's got all this stuff on sale, almost all of it.
Yeah.
It's on, what is it, on clearance?
Is he going out? What is it? Is he going out of business?
Oh, no, man.
Well, if everything on sale, that's crazy. Maybe he's building up for SWAT.
Yeah, I think he probably is.
Yeah.
What's it under? Embellishment products?
I typed in
Hampshire Sheen.
embellishing wax.
Just type in Hampshire
Sheen, yeah.
in the search, and everything that he's under that company will show up.
Okay, cool. I found it.
He also makes stencils that you can use with airbrushes and stuff.
Yeah.
But these are intrinsic colors. These aren't the waxes. Oh, the waxes are down here.
No, the waxes are, if you put in Hampshire Sheens, the waxes are there too.
I see it.
Nice.
What is this Jimmy Clues solid color cream filler?
Oh, that's what Jimmy Clues makes.
Yeah. They're all into it.
Yeah.
That's marked down from $19 to $13.99.
Yeah, they follow each other on their price reductions.
They must be having some sort of special sale on their embellishing
That's
stuff.
under the monthly sales.
Oh yeah.
Monthly specials, whatever.
This month is embellishing stuff, I think, is what's on sale.
I guess I'm gonna have to get one of each of those colors. How long do they last? I guess I keep them inside.
Yeah, just make sure you keep them in a cool place. They're fine. I mean, they're half off almost, so.
I got a little metal locker I can throw them in. They'll probably last in there.